All right. Let's take a roll call real quick. Cintel is here. Leilani is here. Maru, did I see her? Yeah, she's here.
I'm here, Chef.
Brandon Collins. I haven't seen him yet.
Yes, chef.
Oh, there. See up on the top left. Cameron Contreras. Don't see him. Okay. Mr. Robert Dozal. Don't see him. Okay. Janet is here. Sean is here. Greg, where's Greg Field? No, Greg. I see Jillian. Jillian, you're here. Ashley, you're here. Derek, you're here. Haley, you're here. Having some internet issues. Trying to keep up with us. Alanda, you're here. Right?
Yes, chef. Chelsea, if she wanted me to let you know that she is coming in late. She had to do something, but she is coming.
Here, she's
I'm
there.
here, Alanda.
All right.
I made it, but thank you.
Here she is. Never mind.
She's there. Miss Hayes is here too. Chelsea is here. Jeffrey's here. Garrett, Mr. Garrett, I sent you a private chat. Take a look at it, okay? And do respond to the chain of command as soon as possible, okay? All right, because guys, if they start to reach out to you, if you guys don't reach back, you guys may be facing dismissal, okay? So if they start looking out for you and trying to contact you guys, make sure you contact them back. My other class, somebody was dismissed because it wasn't. They tried to reach out to them several times, and they didn't reach out, so you got dismissed. Okay.
What happens if they don't respond to you?
Email.
I've called them, I've emailed them, I've talked to David Norris a few times, and he just disappears about getting new pants since last class.
So when you send an email, like David Norris, email David Norris, copy Chef Robin.
Okay.
Oh yeah, if you copy Chef Robin on anything, whoever you're trying to get in touch with will respond like that.
Okay, because like I've been having difficulty with this, and I just like continuously restart my Gmail to see if like he's responded, because I've been waiting since the ending of last class to figure out if I can get new pants for class.
Yeah. Whenever you guys send an email that nobody responds to you, make sure you copy Chef Robin. Okay. She will make them. She will hunt them and make sure that they respond back to you. Okay. She will rattle the cages, guys. She's on your side. Okay. So remember that. Okay. Joseph, where's Joseph? I haven't seen Joseph. Right? No Joseph. Natalie, where's Natalie? Leo's, no Natalie. Lyric is here. Eladia is here. Trinity is here. Colby is here. Mina is here. Rebecca, Ms. Rose is here. Timothy, didn't I see Timothy? There you go. Timothy is here. Jonathan is here. Ellie Thompson. Okay. Miss Ellie, if you can hear me, make sure you get in touch with school. They're trying to reach out to you too, as well too. Okay.
All right.
Make sure you send an email to Miss Shelley, copy Shannon, copy Chef Robin, and let them know that you're trying to reach out to them and see what's going on. Okay.
All
right. Christopher is here. Hunter, where's Hunter? Hunter in the house? No Hunter. And Everett is here. All right, cool. All right, guys, this is the beginning of week 4. Week 4, okay? Oh, Robert just popped in, okay? Week 4, so you guys should already have access to all your knowledge conversion quizzes. If not, I would strongly encourage you guys to knock them all out as soon as possible. Don't let time fly and go by, okay? And again, you knock out all those knowledge conversion quizzes, you get 10 extra credits if you knock them out before Friday, week 5, okay? I know some of you guys can use the extra boost in your grade. I would suggest, please strongly advise you guys to take the knowledge conversion quizzes, knock them all out before Friday, week 5, okay? And there's another extra credits coming up too. Week 6, Monday, the surveys go live. The surveys go live on your portal homepage. You knock out the surveys on Monday before 12 o'clock midnight. You're not on the naughty list on Tuesday the next day, another 10 extra points, extra credit. So you got double the dip of getting extra points, guys, right? Those of you guys who need it, I strongly suggest you take advantage of those extra points, okay? So before we go any further, let's check out the newsletter for today, okay? Let's get that one out of the way. Okay. Some good info in this newsletter, guys. Good info, okay? Fix the screen over here first. So what is going on? A lot is going on, okay? A lot is happening. Let's go check out what's going on today, okay? Don't forget, turn back your clocks. Saturday, not November 2nd. Okay? November 2nd is Monday. Take a look at your calendar, okay? November 1st or October 31st for November 1st. Set back your clocks. That's Saturday, October 31st. Okay, for November 1st, set back your clocks. Okay, time change is coming. Don't forget that. Okay, I know the date here is wrong. Okay, but that's Saturday. Okay, October 31st for November 1st. Set back your clocks. Okay. Holiday class schedule again, one more time. In service November 6th, Friday. So your last day is Thursday. That's your last day. That's practical day. Thursday and Friday, November 26th, 27th is Thanksgiving. So you get a 4-day weekend. Be back Monday the next week. Okay. Holiday calendar, December 21st. Be back January 4th. Okay. January 4th. Fortunately, we only get 2 weeks off. Okay. Somebody made a mistake. So if you need assistance, okay, rent, utilities, other type of financial needs and assistance, that's where to go. That's the websites to help you out. And again, just a little reminder how to keep yourself sane during this what's going on. I like to ride my bike a lot and go out hiking and biking and trails and so forth, so on. So keep my mind sane and breathe some fresh air. Okay. Christian Center, if you happen to experience a loss of a loved one, they have great counselors. That's the website to go. Financial aid questions. Okay, financial aid questions. T. Vargas at staff.escofia.edu. You should all be able to have your bank mobile set up by now. You should all be able to have your stipends in now. This is week 4. Okay, if you don't have it, that's who to go to. Okay, if you have not set up your bank mobile yet. Okay. I know, Mr. Hunter, did you get the email from Teresa Vargas? She responded right off the bat, okay? He was having issues with his bank mobile, so I sent an email to Teresa Vargas, copy Mr. Hunter, and then copy Mary Reardon. She responded in a flash. That's how to get somebody's attention. Copy someone else, okay? Hopefully it was fixed for you. This is week 4 now. You have no issues because once we get into rock and rolling, you cannot be sitting there with, well, I don't have my stipend yet. Come on, guys. This is week 4 now. You should already have it set up by that time, okay? If you did not receive your stipend, if you have your bank mobile set up, if you have not received your stipend, your money through your account, Mary Reardon is the one to go to, okay? After you have set up your bank mobile with Teresa Vargas, that's who to go to. That's the information, okay? All right, guys? And again, Zendesk. Hopefully you guys are keeping up with your grades, the portal, and logging in every day, a single day, and that day and out. Just take a look at your recipes and what have you not. If you have it, do not wait, okay? Set it up and make sure you're all into your home portal, okay? Contact Zendesk. And again, that's the email, that's the address, okay? When you're out and about, make sure you protect yourself, 6 feet apart, wear a face mask, don't touch your face, clean and sanitize, right? So follow the CDC guidelines. Keep yourselves safe. Don't fall into that and don't get get sick. Okay. We want you to be healthy. You know, being sick is miserable. I know. How to disinfect surfaces by using bleach. 1 capful of bleach per 1 gallon of bleach. I mean, 1 gallon of water. Capful of bleach, 1 gallon of water. Externship. Contact Ms. Ann Derrick or Jamil Hooper by the time you hit regional cuisines. I would strongly suggest you contact them, okay? And they will help you with your resume, and they have all the contacts around town and out of state and even overseas. So you guys want to go do your extra step overseas, okay? Featured employer, Kalahari is still hiring. Okay, opening November 12th. It's coming around the corner, less than a month. Largest indoor water park in convention center, looking to fill a restaurant cook 1, 2, and 3 positions. So that's the website, www.kalahariresorts.com //Kalahari-careers /. Additional opportunities, Texas RHO frat house, needs a cook. Email resume to Chef Sean. It's an Escoffier graduate. Chef Sean, text rho19@gmail.com. Also, True Food Kitchen, 222 West Avenue, needs cooks in back of the house staff. Hank's Bar and Cafe, okay? Looking for a baker. Fixed Southern House, hiring a part-time pastry baker. Juniper, looking for lead line cooks. Lead line cooks, okay? Again, this dry storage is also have a couple of open spots. There's a times if you guys are interested in working at school for the dry storage. Okay, easy gig. Just for fun, he's a bacon and egg and cheese on everything Beagle. Whatever. Quote of the week: the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Okay. I got some awesome quotes for you guys later on, okay? I'm going to share with you guys some awesome quotes, okay? Of my own. During the autumn months, okay, another feature recipe. This one's from Chef Tammy. Okay, Chef Tammy's recipe. Molasses ice bath cookies. This was her grandmother's recipe, and they're delicious. They're not rolled in sugar, as some recipes call for, and we prefer them this way in side-by-side taste tests. She said her daughter makes them all the time now. She slices them about half an inch thick and bakes them for 10 minutes in her convection oven for a large stop cookie. It's great for quick breakfast too. So the grandmother, Hazel Mosley Meyer, was born in Springfield, Illinois in August 1910. She saw 2 world wars and completed change in our nation during her 90 years. She baked and sold for the public and could make a meal from the most meager ingredients. She said she's sure the stallion came from her hard life. She was growing up and raising her mother and uncle during the Great Depression. She was such a wonderful person, and she named her grandma. She named her grandma when they were kids. Every single person who knew her, their family called her that as well. She said, "Enjoy her recipes." Okay, here we go. This is a recipe. Okay, Grandma's ice bath molasses cookie. Molasses, shortening, sugar, brown sugar, flour, salt, baking soda, cloves, ginger, cinnamon. Okay, you guys are interested, go ahead and take a picture, write it down, whatever you do. Okay, right? Okay, in the spotlight. Okay, we would like to spotlight students who are doing exceptional things and brag about you. Your instructors will make the nominations when they see your extraordinary efforts, going above and beyond. Instructors, please send nominations to students' contact information for Chef Tammy. Okay. Spotlight. Here's the first spotlight of the week. Okay. Student name: Kayla Buchanan. Shout out to Kayla Buchanan from Dallas, Texas. A single mom raising 4 children, attending school and working to support her family. Her 10-year-old daughter, Macy, picture, had to have a surgical procedure last week, but Kayla still logged in and participated in class, wearing her full uniform while at the hospital. She said, why does it choose a school? She saw an ad on Facebook, filled out the brochure, was contacted to sign up. She was so happy to find out that we're doing online classes and plans to return after completing pastry to do the culinary program. Her quote is, do what you know how to do and nail it. Goals: to have Gordon Ramsay know her name. Hobbies: a mom who loves to cook for her family. Okay. If she's able to log on full uniform while her daughter is getting a surgery in a hospital, no reason why anyone else cannot be logged on. Okay. We have another student at 2 p.m. class. Some of you guys may know her. Okay. She has severe allergies to milk. Her hands got irritated because she touched the cornmeal, which had milk powder in it, broke out severely. Her hands were burning all the way up to her elbows. Had to go to the ER. No insurance. They turned her back, but the doctor gave her some advice on how to get over-the-counter drugs so she can put on her severe allergies because her hands were swollen up and they were red, rashy, and they were itchy and burning. Okay. And she came back with her hands bandaged up. She still managed to produce some of the menu items on that day. Okay. And send pictures.
Rebecca's a champ, man.
The what?
Rebecca's a champ. She's allergic to like so much, and she just powers through it. Troopers, guys. Okay, troopers. Now I'm gonna sidetrack here a little bit to tell you guys about my experience. You know, when I was in Cali, I did my top 10 list of culinary schools across the states. Austin was one of them. Louisiana, San Francisco, LA, all the way down to Vermont, Montpelier, Vermont, Rhode Island, New York. Times 3. I chose to go to New York. Never been out of the state, another state except Vegas. Okay. Of course, we used to go there and party. In South Dakota to Tijuana. Anyways, sold my belongings. Had a garage.
Excuse me, chef. You mean you partied?
Yeah, a long time ago. Not with Slivovic.
I'm just asking a question. That's all.
So I sold all my belongings. 2 cats, dog, close on my back. Was my ex. Drove across country, Arizona, New Mexico, Panhandle, Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, all the way down to Ohio. Stayed with some family up there. Drove across Pennsylvania to New York. Got there, and my tuition, my loans did not cover my tuition. So I had the money that I had saved up to be able to get an apartment and live off campus and survive. Had to go to my tuition. Had about $13 in my bank account. $13 and a box shoe of an apartment. About 400 square feet. Okay. Went and started school. Okay. I was living about 20 minutes away from campus. Snow, ice, whatever. Never missed the day of school. Never missed a day. Back then, our blocks were 7 days long. Your blocks here are 6 weeks. Our blocks were 7 days long. Each block in 96 cost me out of pocket $750. I had $13 in my account. Do you think I was going to miss the class? You think I was going to miss a day? Oh, no, guys, it's an investment. Okay, this is a lifetime investment. This is our passion. It's who we are, what we are. Okay, $13 in my bank account. Never missed a day. I remember one day it was a freezing rain. And I couldn't get out of my house. So I called the school and I called my instructor and said, I'm having issues having to get out of my house. And he said, well, it's your class, it's your responsibility, Made it 20 minutes late on time. I'm 20 minutes late to class. Okay. Never missed a single day. My pockets were not that deep. Okay. Even with the loans and everything else I had with me, they were not that deep. Okay. So commitment, guys. Okay. It all depends. What you put in is when you're going to get out of it. Okay, but it takes true passion to be able to do it. Okay. Anywho, trivia. Yeah, she's a trooper. Ms. Rebecca's a trooper. Okay. An interesting Halloween ritual during the 18th century was for a woman to throw apple peels over her shoulders. Do you guys know why? Is it to ward off any dangerous beings? To somehow find a husband? 3, hopefully ensure a long and prosperous life? 4, to bring good luck because throwing the peels meant throwing away bad luck. Any takers? I see 2. I see 2 2s, 1 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 4s. To bring good luck, we're throwing peels, throwing bad luck away. I see 2 3s, hopefully ensure a long, prosperous life. Thank you, Mr. Jeffrey. Number 4, good luck. Final answer? Final answer, guys. Number 2. Final answer. Going once, going twice. Number 2 again. All right. An interesting Halloween ritual during the 18th century was for a woman to throw apple peels over her shoulder to ward off any dangerous beings, somehow find a husband, hopefully ensure long and prosperous lives, to bring good luck, because throwing the peels meant throwing away bad luck. Let's take a look, see what, we have. There we go. To find a husband during the 18th century, follow Halloween traditions that would help them find a romantic match. According to History.com, women would throw apple peels over their shoulder, hoping to see their future husband's initials. Competitively bow for apples at parties because the winner will be the first to get married and stand in the dark room with a candle in front of a mirror to look for their future husband's face. Thankfully, those traditions have died out. Yeah, right?
Wow.
Okay, so that's it for the Newsweek's. Today's this week Newsweek's letter, right, guys? Let's take a look at what's happening today, this week. Okay, let's talk about the practical, which I told you guys we're going to be discussing today, right? Okay. You may have a lot of questions. That's fine. We're here for you guys, okay, to answer your questions. So this is week 4, day 16, day 17, okay? So we're looking at cooking practical review, okay? 3 hours time limit. 3 hours time limit. Nothing can be prepared until the clock starts. Only allowed to have chicken stock done prior to the practical, okay? Only allowed to have chicken stock. You can't cut, chop, measure, nothing, okay? You can set up everything on your countertop, your cutting board, your knives, pots and pans, that's about it. Cannot measure or cut anything, okay? You are going to need to produce a basic mixed green salad, okay? And I'm gonna show you a couple of samples, what I'm looking for your mixed green salad, ×2. So 2 identical salads, okay? 2 identical salads. So basically you're cooking for a table of 2, okay? 2 top. 2 identical salads, okay? I'm looking for knife cuts. I'm looking for the salad dressing to be lightly tossed in the mixed green. I'm looking for the artistic talent, the flow, the center, the height, or use a negative space on your square plate if you have one. And I'll show you, and I'll tell you guys what that means, okay? So basic mixed green salad. What we don't want to see is rabbit food on the plate. We're not feeding a guinea pig. We're not feeding the rabbit. We're not feeding the chickens, okay? By that said, is I don't want to see the carrots, big old chunks. I want to see everything nice and uniform. You know knife skills, right? Remember that week 2? Carrots, fine julienne, so far, so on. So if you're going to go decide to do julienne cuts on the vegetables, then go across, universal across all the way, okay? But they need to be exactly the same size if possible, okay? So basic mixed green salad. Then you have one coming on Friday. I'm going to pop a couple of pictures on the slide to show you what kind of we're looking for, okay? Also got a little cool video, how to do a salad, okay? French cut sauteed chicken breast. You already did it this past Friday, okay? You know what we're looking for. That whole chicken breast, right? A lot of skin on it, tenderloin still attached, the wing, the wing bone exposed at the base with about half an inch thick of meat on the armpit. Nice golden brown color in the skin. Only salt, no pepper. And the skin side presented up, facing you, okay? Chicken veloute, okay? You're gonna have to make veloute that day. That's why your chicken stock needs to be done prior to that date. The only thing that it can be done prior, okay? You know what we're looking at the veloute? Not paired to the back of the spoon. Not thick, not thin. Good, nice light brown color, okay? And it coats the back of a spoon. Rice pilaf, okay? Rice pilaf on this dish, okay? So chicken veloute ×2, French cut ×2, rice pilaf ×1, because 1 is with rice pilaf, okay?
Are we presenting these all plated together on the plate as if we're, serving them, or are we also doing that with pictures individually of all of the components?
You are presenting everything, the salad, boom, salad. French cut chicken breast, rice pilaf, veloute, and the green beans, one complete dish. Okay,
Okay.
not separate, all together. Because again, this is how well you're going to execute your menu and how well you're going to plate up. I don't want to see a chicken breast on a saute pan. This is my chicken breast, 0 points. I don't want to see green beans on the water. This is 0 points. We don't want to see rice pilaf on the pot too, 0 points. Okay, needs to be assembled together. Okay, rice pilaf on this dish. You need to make also the pommes de terre Anna ×1. Okay, and saute green beans. So 2 mixed.
If
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Chef. If we're plating it all together and everything, how do we have 2 servings and then 1 serving, or
2 plates.
times 1?
Chef, wouldn't you say 2 plates?
2 plates, 2 mixed greens, 2 plates, 1 with rice, 1 with potatoes, both with chicken, French cut, both with veloute, both with green beans.
Oh, they're 2 different plates. Okay, thank you,
Bingo.
Chef.
Okay, bingo.
Janet,
Yes.
nothing.
Identical, artistically displayed, good knife cuts, lightly tossed in dressing or dressing on the plate, your choice. The sauté chicken breast, 1 sauté French cut chicken breast with rice pilaf, veloute, and green beans, 1 with potato puree, veloute, and green beans. Okay, so 2 different dishes. Again, you're cooking for 2. Okay, so 2 separate dishes. Okay, each one has their own starch. Okay.
Chef
Next one.
Miguel,
Yes, sir.
will you take any points off if you put the mixed salads in a salad bowl?
Mixed salads in where?
In a salad bowl, separate from the plate?
No, you can use salad bowl. You can use a plate. You can use whatever plate for your salad. Okay.
Okay,
But just the salad is not going to go on the same plate as the chicken. Remember,
right.
cold food, cold plate. Hot food, hot plate. Okay.
Yes, Chef.
So let's take a look at the grading rubrics. Okay. 30 points. It's worth 1 dish. Okay. This is what I'm looking for. You're not going to do a grilled chicken breast. You're going to saute it. Okay. Online students only, saute it. So chicken fabricated as French cut breast of chicken. You know what we're looking for. We already did it once, Friday last week. Okay. Don't worry about the grill marks. There's adequate amount of skin and meat plus the tenderloin on the left on the breast. Nice plumpy breast. Chicken seasoned only with salt, no pepper, cayenne, nothing else. Just lightly sprinkled with salt. Chicken cooked to a specific internal temperature, 165. Okay. Green beans, blanched, sauteed, and cooked properly. Seasoned with salt only. Okay. Rice pilaf, cooked properly. Seasoned well, good knife cuts. Remember, small or brunoise on the rice pilaf. Rice needs to be fluffy. Okay. Veloute sauce, seasoned well, only salt. No roux flavor, noticeable lumps or nappe. Okay, it needs to be nappe, so no lumps on it. Okay, mixed green salad, dressed properly, seasoned well, good knife cuts. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples what I'm looking for in your salad. Okay, hot plate for chicken, cold plate for salad, plate execution, flow, clean, rim of the plate. This is worth 30 points. This is one is worth 30 points. Okay. Next one up. The other one is sauteed. Both of them is sauteed. 30 points as well. So 2 different dishes. Okay. Chicken the same way, fabricated properly, seared properly with a golden brown color on the skin, adequate amount of skin and meat left on the breast, plus the tenderloin still attached. Chicken seasoned only with salt, no pepper, no cayenne, no chili, just salt. That is it. Okay. Cooking to 165, green beans blanched, sauteed, and cooked properly. Potato puree smooth, seasoned right, and not too dry or too wet. You may pipe it like I showed you guys how to, pipe that potato last week. Veloute sauce, again, same consistency, no lumps, and not pet to the back of the spoon. Mixed green salad, dressed properly, seasoned well, good knife cuts. Hot plate for chicken, cold plate for salad. Plate execution, flow, clean, rim of the plate, 30 points. So 1 dish is worth 30 points with the rice pilaf. Another one is worth 30 points with the potato puree. 2 different dishes, okay? 2 different starches. Same chicken, same green beans, same veloute. Got it? 30 points each. Next one, okay? Preparation. It's worth 20 points, okay? Online students, for you guys, this is worth 40 points, okay? Uniform, hat, apron, okay? your station set up properly with the mise en place, your production sheet needs to be available prior to class starting. Okay, this is worth 40 points. Okay, guys, like I said, this practical is worth overall 20% of your overall grade. It weighs heavily in your grade. Okay, if you're still struggling with production sheets, you need to start doing them as soon as you can and share them with us. They are worth 40 points in general. Okay, 40 points. Okay, those of you guys who are doing production sheets, awesome job. Keep on coming in, keep on bringing them. But all your recipes need to be on the production sheet. That means your French cut chicken breast recipe on the production sheet, rice pilaf production sheet, potato puree production sheet, velouté production sheet, green beans production sheet, salad, dressing. 7 recipes on your production sheet need to be in it. Okay. All right, guys. You guys have a couple of what you call samples of production sheets that I email you guys week 1 or week 2. That's what I'm looking for. That's what we're looking for in your production sheets. Okay, nicely filled out. You want to handwrite them, it's up to you. You want to type them, it's up to you. But we want to see all those 7 recipes on the production sheet. Method, mise en place, and even a little stick drawing of how you want your place to look like. Worth 40 points in general. Production sheets, uniform. Okay, uniforms. Okay.
Jeff, Miguel.
Yes.
Since we have 2 recipes, it says production sheets. Can we do the first recipe on one sheet and then the second one on the other, or do you want them all combined? On the
2 different ones. So you got 1 potato puree, 1 for rice pilaf. Okay.
So 2 production sheets are good.
Right, but everything on it, salad, dressing, everything, same here, everything, salad, dressing, potatoes, everything else. Okay.
Yes, chef.
If you are having issues with the uniform, I strongly suggest email Stan Holt, okay? Copy Chef Robin now. This is week 4. Again, 40 points overall on your uniforms and your production sheets, guys. Maximize as much as you can. We're going into week 5 next week. You should have no uniform, okay? Email Stan, copy Chef Robin as soon as possible. Rattle that cage, okay, guys?
Including hat.
Yeah, uniform. It says here, uniform, hat, apron, knife kit, or your
Got
set. Okay. It's worth 40 points of your practical grading.
Does it?
Yes. Okay, guys. Email sholt@escoffier.edu. Copy Chef Robin. R. MacArthur at escoffier.edu. If you're having any issues with the uniforms or knife kits, okay, get it done now, out of the way. Don't wait till the last minute. You're about to go into more kitchen blocks, okay? Okay. Production sheet is very important, guys. Any questions so far? This slide is going to be uploaded onto the portal week 4, okay? If you guys have any doubts or any questions, it will be there for you guys to go back and take a look at, okay?
Does it matter if we don't have our chef pants? Or we do, you can't wear them?
You can wear any kind of black pants. We're looking for your chest up, okay? I'm not looking the bottom up, the bottom down, okay?
Like, the only plain black pants I have are either ripped skinny jeans or toothless sweatpants, and I don't think that's acceptable.
As long as you're covered, okay?
Yeah.
Dark navy blue.
Don't wear short shorts.
Don't wear short shorts. Don't wear the bathing suit. We don't want to see that. All we want to see is at least from your waist up professionalism, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, guys? So that's what the grading is all about. That's the uniforms. That's the chickens, okay? They will be loaded up on the portal. If you guys can go back and take a look at them. But again, this is the end of the block on week 6. This is your practical. It weighs heavily on your overall grade. Okay, guys? It will be in the portal uploaded. Okay? All right. Any questions so far on the practical grading? All right.
Chef,
Yes.
one more thing. They gotta be on screen.
Yep. The camera's gotta be on.
Gotta be on screen, guys. If you're gonna be off screen, it's a 0. I mean it.
No ghost in the class. If you
I'm
have
telling my whole family to stay off the internet that day.
if you're having issues,
Be like,
just a heads up, but at least try to make the effort to be on. Okay, but again, it weighs heavily on your whatchamacallit, your grade. Okay, questions? All right. Okay, let's take a look at roasting. Okay, roasting review. Okay, remember it's indirect heat. Okay, roasting, I mean, direct heat is applied to the food, like you do a prime rib, turkey, that sort of deal. Okay, the heat seals the outside part of the food, and the juice inside the food cooks at the food. When you roast a turkey, you start with high heat to seal the juices inside the meat, and then give it a nice crust on the outside. That seals the juices inside. Okay. Roasting is mainly used when cooking fleshy foods like fish, meat, or chicken. Okay. When meat is applied to the outer covering of the food, it seals it up, thereby trapping all the juices inside the food. The action of the direct heating heats up the juices inside the food as well too, which cooks the food. Again, there is very little nutrient loss, and the flavor is not spoiled. Food is frequently rotated over a spit so that there is even heating applied to all the parts of the food. So this is the heat that's applied evenly to the food to make it cook properly. Okay, so roasting. Let's talk about the Maillard effect. Maillard reaction. I don't know if you guys heard of this before or not. We're going to be talking about the Maillard reaction and the Maillard effect on the food. Okay, not Maillard ducks. That's different. One of the most important flavor producing reactions in cooking is the Maillard reaction. It is sometimes called the browning reaction. Okay, in discussions of cooking, but that description is incomplete at best. Cooked meats, seafood, and other protein-laden foods that undergo the Maillard reaction do turn out brown. But there are other reactions that also cause browning. Maillard reaction creates brown pigments in cooked meat in very specific way. By rearranging amino acids and certain simple sugars, which then arrange themselves into things and collections of rings that reflect light in such a way as to give the meat a brown color. The important thing about Maillard reaction is in the color. It's the flavors and aromas indeed. It should be called the flavor reaction, not the Maillard, okay? Or not the browning reaction. The molecules it produces provide the potent aromas responsible for the characteristic smells of roasting, baking, and frying. What begins as a simple reaction between amino acids and sugars quickly becomes very complicated. The molecules produced keep reacting in even more complex ways that generates literally hundreds of various molecules. Most of these new molecules are produced in incredible minute quantities. That doesn't mean they're unimportant, okay? So the Maillard reaction occurs in cooking of almost all kinds of foods. Although the simple sugars and amino acids produce distinct different aromas. This is why baking bread doesn't smell like roasting meat or frying fish, even when all these foods depend on Maillard reaction's flavor. Maillard reaction is, or at its absence, distinguishes the flavors of boiled, poached, or steamed foods from the flavors of the same foods that have been grilled, roasted, or otherwise cooked at temperatures high enough to dehydrate the surface rapidly. Like when you go to a Tex-Mex restaurant and the waiter comes up with a nice plate of sizzling fajita meat, that's the Maillard reaction. That smell that's left behind. You're like, ooh, what is that? I want some of that, right? In other words, at temperatures above the boiling point of water, these two factors, the dryness and temperatures, are the key that controls the rate of the Maillard reaction. High temperature cooking speeds up the Maillard reaction because heat both increases and the rate of the chemical reactions and accelerates the evaporation of water. As the food dries, the concentrations of reactant compounds increases and the temperature climbs more rapidly, okay? So the temperatures need to be high to bring about the Maillard reaction. Even when you glaze carrots have the Maillard reaction. But as long as the food is very wet, its temperature won't climb above the boiling point of water. Unless you add sugar, then it's going to go past beyond 190, 180, 200, okay? And atmospheric pressure, only high heat cooking techniques can dry out the food enough to raise the temperature sufficiently. It is not the water that stops the reaction, but rather the low boiling point at normal. Sea level pressure. In the sealed environment of a pressure cooker, the Maillard reaction can and does occur. This is something that we exploit when making soups, like in our caramelized carrot soup or purees, like the broccoli puree in the brassicas recipe. Adding baking soda to the pressure cooker raises the food's pH, making it more alkaline, okay? And that's something that you guys should could be talking about regional cuisines. When you make when they go into making ramen noodles, you start by toasting the baking soda in the oven to raise the alkali levels. Okay, so another day for another discussion. Anyways, which also helps. Chinese cooks often marinate meat or seafood in mixtures containing egg white or baking soda just before stir frying. You are going to be making tempura batter on Friday. Okay, you'll be making you'll be using some baking soda as well too in that part. Okay. So in boil, poach, or steamed mussel foods, an entirely different set of aromas dominates the flavor. Drying and browning the surface first will, however, allow the reaction to proceed slowly at temperatures below the boiling point of water. This is why sear frozen steak before cooking in a low temperature oven. Searing food before vacuum sealing and cooking sous vide can add depth with the flavor sous vide dishes. You will be cooking sous vide in front of the table. Okay, remember that, sous vide from the table class. Totally different cooking technique, but it is awesome. Okay. So the steps.
New way of cooking, a new era.
New way, okay? Even at home, you can cook sous vide with a thermometer. Just got to keep control of that water temperature, okay? Anyways, this step should be avoided for lamb, other meats from grass-fed animals, and a few other foods in which pre-searing can trigger unwanted reactions that cause off flavors and warm over the flavors to form when the food is later cooked sous vide. Recommend searing those foods after cooking in sous vide. Sometimes when you cook a steak sous vide, you grab it, vacuum seal it, or put it in a Ziploc baggie, putting in 76 degrees Celsius water with thermometer on it at that temperature. Don't let it go up, don't let it go down, and then cook it for about maybe 45 minutes to an hour, and take it on the back and sear real quickly. That steak is going to be nice and tender, cut with a fork, and you gotta have no loss of yield. You're going to have the nice sear on top. Beautiful steak. Okay. One of the challenges of getting the Maillard reaction going is getting the surface hot and dry enough without overcooking the underlying flesh, or at least overcooking as little as possible. Cooks have developed several strategies to end this. Some simple and somewhat fairly baroque. One strategy that works well is to remove as much water from the surface of the meat as possible before cooking it. Remember your sauteed chicken breast? It needs to be nice and dry, not too wet, and then cook it, sear the skin side down, to get the Maillard reaction, to get a nice brownness on it, okay? Fast eating using deep fryer, super hot griddles, and grills, and even blow torches are also helpful tactics, such as when we deep fry chicken wings. You are going to be doing southern fried chicken Tuesday, okay? Wednesday. You might think that raising the temperature higher will be enhanced the Maillard reaction. It does up to after the point, but above 180 degrees Celsius or 355 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, different set of reactions occur. Pyrolysis, also known as burning, people will typically like foods a little charred, but with too much pyrolysis comes bitterness. The black compounds that pyrolysis creates also may have carcinogenic, so it's easy to be charring your foods for visual appeal. Like when you do a cremated, extra well done steak, okay, it has a lot of carcinogenic compounds on that steak on the outside of the charness, okay. Trussing chicken, okay. I wish we could truss the chicken, but we're not, okay, because the trussing chicken goes hand in hand with the Maillard effect. You truss it, season it, pop it in the oven, roast it nice and evenly, but we're gonna talk about it a little bit, okay. Poultry does not have to be trussed before it is roasted. Does not have to be trussed. When poultry is trussed, you may encounter a problem with the white and dark meat obtaining the proper doneness. It takes longer for the dark meat to an inner thigh to reach this proper doneness when it's trussed, which could be 165 to 170 degrees. Okay, and then the outer part's gonna be a lot higher than that. When the dark meat is cooked until it reaches the appropriate temperatures, the white meat will many times be too dry. If it's important that the bird keeps its shape while roasting, it is best to truss it. If it isn't important that it keeps the shapes, it's generally better not to truss the chicken because the white and dark meat will cook more evenly. Okay. So trussing it, different methods of trussing, but all basically trying to achieve the same results. Okay. Instructions of basic methods for trussing are shown here. I'm gonna show you the methods of trussing the chicken. Okay. For poultry, to hold the shape, it needs to be trussed or tied. If you don't truss it, it's gonna be like the legs are gonna be spread out, the wings are gonna be spread out too. So you need to truss it to keep a nice firm shape. Okay. A smaller bird may be only required that the legs are tied together, but a large bird will require that the be tied around the legs and around the wings so to hold the shape. Before trussing, the wishbone can be cut to make it easier to cover the breast portion of the poultry, but it is not necessary that you remove. The poultry should be clean and stuffing is desired. It should be inserted before the bird is trussed. Okay. So step 1, tuck the wings underneath the bird to secure them. Okay. You're going to tuck in behind the bird. Okay. Tuck the wings. Second, for trussing, use a string that is approximately 4 to 5 times the length of the bird, butcher string. With the bird on his back, tail away from you, place the middle of the string under the tail leg, under the tail. Bring it both sides up and across over the top of the tail. Wrap each of the strings around the end of each drumstick and pull to draw the legs together, crossing strings over each other again. So you're going to tie it, go underneath the tail, go on top, and then cross it, and then wrap it around the legs, and then get it nice and tight. Okay. Flip the bird over to the back side with its neck away from you. Pull strings over the thighs and wrapping around the upper wings, catching the tips of the wings in the loop. The string is wrapped around the wing, close to the body, and the both ends are brought to the upper side. It is a flap of the skin on the back on the neck, then it's folded up, and the 2 strings are tied over it. Okay, it's really easy to truss a chicken. Okay, even your turkey going to truss it for Thanksgiving can be trussed. Okay. Larding and barding. Okay, larding. Okay, is when you insert a piece of lard in the meat. Like you see here, it might look gross. It looks like it has some kind of worms in it, but it's not. You have a larding needle with a piece of pork fat bag, and you lard the product in it because those cuts of meat are very lean. They don't have a lot of fat, so you lard it to give more flavor. Okay. So what is larding and barding? It's also called lardon or lardoon. Adding a piece of animal fat, concept or oil or lard, but piercing or planting the surface of the meat to be applied in order to further increase the flavor of the meat to be cooked with this method and keep it juicy and in the operation. Okay. Larding application can be used to add aromatic foods along the animal fats. It can be citrus, lemon, orange peels, garlic, or fresh spices. Animal fat is cut into long strips and cooked by adding chicken, noir, tenderloin, shank, beef tenderloin, and add it to them. Okay? And again, usually with leaner cuts of meat. Okay? Barding is traditionally a pre-cooking method by tightly wrapping a large piece of animal fat layer on the entire surface of the meat. The fat layer acts as a preservative while cooking the meat, keeps the meat moist, and increases the flavor of the meat. Both methods are ideal applications for long-term smoking in the oven. If you want to eat delicious, juicy meat, you can try this method. Okay? Even alligator, at Louisiana, get some alligator, you skin it, gut it, dress it, and wrap the whole entire thing with bacon and smoke it. Oh man, it's delicious. Oh yeah. Okay. A piece of beef. Okay, like you see on the bottom left, middle. Okay, and my favorite one is the little beef tenderloins. Okay, because again, tenderloins are lean cut of meat. In banquets, we used to cut them about 6-8 ounces, and then wrap bacon around them, and then hold them with a skewer. Take those steaks and grill them on the grill. Okay, right before the banquet event, pop them in the oven to cook them nice medium rare, and remove the skewers. And what happens? The bacon wraps around the beef tenderloin, holds it nice and tight. It doesn't fall apart, and it gives a better flavor to the steak. So again, steak is very lean, doesn't have a lot of fat. The bacon adds flavor. Okay, but it costs money, so we had to charge you more for that one. Okay, but it's had more flavor than that. Okay, so let's talk about muscle composition on poultry. Okay, I know we talked about chicken last week. Okay, muscle composition tissue is poultry similar to that of animals or mammals that contains approximately 72% water, 20% protein, 7% fat, and 1% mineral. Consists of bundles of muscle cells from fibers held together by connective tissue. Like red meat, poultry does not contain the intramuscular fat known as marbling. Instead, bird stores fat in the skin. That's why when you're chicken, your sauteed French cut breast of chicken, like I was trying to explain to you guys, leave as much skin as you can on that meat, because that skin has fat, it has flavor. protects the meat from drying out, and it gives a nice golden crust color on the outside. So leave as much skin as you can on the chicken, okay? So with red meats, poultry muscles that are used more often tend to be tougher than those used less frequently. Tomorrow, you're gonna be cooking coq au vin using the leg and thigh meat you fabricated last week, okay? So you don't have to break down a chicken tomorrow, okay? You should be able to pull that chicken out of the freezer and get it going tonight. And I'll talk more about that later on, okay? The breast and wing flesh of chickens and turkeys is lighter in color than the flesh of their thighs and legs. For this reason, it is often referred to as white meat. The color difference is due to a higher concentration of the protein myoglobin in the thigh and leg muscles. Myoglobin is a protein that stores oxygen for the muscle tissue to use. More active muscles require more myoglobin and tend to be darker than less active ones. Turkey has a lot of myoglobin in their turkey legs. That's why when you buy them at the county fair, when they smoke turkey legs, you try to bite into them, and they have a lot of sinew, a lot of silver skin that is tough. You like can barely get any meat out of it, but man, they're good. Okay. So more active muscles require more myoglobin, tend to be darker and less than the active ones because chickens and turkeys generally do not fly. Okay. Their breast wing muscles contain little myoglobin and are often light in color. Birds that do fly have only dark meat. Dark meat also contains more fat and connective tissue than light meat, and its cooking time is longer. Skin color may vary from white to golden yellow, depending on what kind of bird was fed, what the bird was fed. Such color differences are not indications of raw quality. Okay. So identifying poultry, we're going to be looking at different kinds of poultries. Same anatomy, different bird. Okay. So USDA recognizes 6 categories or kinds of poultry: chickens, duck, goose, guinea, pigeons, and turkey. Each poultry kind is divided into classes based on predominantly on birds' age and tenderness. The sex of the young birds is not significant for culinary purposes. It does matter, however, with older birds. Older male birds are tough and stringy and have less flavor than older female birds. So older egg chickens are better for stocks and soups. They don't have a lot of meat. Okay. Chicken, the most popular and widely eaten poultry in the world, from Japan, China, France, Italy, Spain, Mexico, US, Peru, Bolivia, anywhere. Okay, chicken is extremely versatile and may be seasoned, stuffed, basted with garnished with almost anything. Chicken is inexpensive and really available, fresh or frozen. Okay, in a variety of forms. The French poulet de Bresse. Okay, poulet de Bresse. It's a special category of chicken, frequently touted as the world's finest and most expensive. Okay. Next one is the Jindori chicken, which I mentioned earlier. Okay. These are free-range birds fed a special diet of milk products plus sweet corn and other grains. Identifying a leg band is attached to each young chick, and Atheni birds will be sold with a banded leg attached. These are available in the United States at a premium price from specialty food importers. Here's what the poulet de Bresse looks like. They got blue chicken legs, okay? Blue chicken legs, okay? See the one on the right-hand side, the nice golden brown? That's the Maillard effect on the skin, okay? Poulet de Bresse, okay? That's poulet de Bresse, that's how it comes in with the blue label on it, resembles the French flag, okay? But they have blue legs, okay? Duck, goose, okay? Used most often in commercial food service operations is a roasted duckling of the Peking or Long Island breed. Contains only dark meat and large amounts of fat. In order to make the fatty skin palatable, it is important to render as much fat as possible. Duck has a high percentage of bone and fat to meat. For example, a 4-pound duck will serve only 2 people, whereas a 4-pound roasting chicken will serve 4 people. For a larger duck breast with a richer, meatier flavor, chefs prefer the Moulard, also known as the Moulard, or hybrid of the Peking and Muscovy breeds. Moulards are used for producing foie gras, okay, which again is the fat liver of the duck. The Moulard's large breast, called the Magret, has a rich flavor and texture similar to beef, and it is often aged for several days and may be smoked whole or cooked by grilling, roasting, or pan searing. I love smoked duck breast, delicious. Okay. Also love duck breast, nice and seared with the a sweet huckleberry sauce or demi-glace. Perfect. So the first one on the left-hand side is your Peking duck. The middle one with the red beak is the Muscovy duck. Okay. The other one on the right-hand side is the Mullard duck. Okay. The Muscovy duck is what we see most at the ponds and lakes and what have you not. Okay. Unless you go to Town Lake. Okay. These are some of the duck dishes. Okay. Check it out, guys. Okay. Check out the plating presentation. Check out the plating techniques. Okay. Take a look at it. See? Center of the plate with height. Okay. The one that has the orange peel is the duck à l'orange, traditionally French dish from France. Okay. Duck à l'orange with an orange glaze, orange juice, brown sugar, a little chicken stock, and Grand Marnier to give it extra flavor. Okay. The one in the top left-hand corner, that one's using the negative space. Remember I mentioned a little while ago, negative space on the plate. It is not center. It does some height, but even the plate is round. Okay. It is positioned properly that they're using the negative space to fill in with the sauce, the veggies, and you have the breast nicely sliced and shingled, and you have the little duck leg here on the side. That is a different way of plating, using the negative space appropriately. Okay. Duck à l'orange, center of the plate with height, nice and sliced and shingled, like I was showing you guys on your chicken last week. The one on the right hand side of that one is got roasted beets, okay, and it's got a beet jus on the bottom, center with height. Even the one on the right hand side, the duck breast can be served medium rare at 145 degrees. Okay, it's cut in half and it's shingled on top of each other, giving it height. Okay, even the one right below the duck à l'orange. Okay, again, center of the plate with height. The one on the right hand side, a little timbal. It has a polenta. Remember you guys made polenta last week? This is a little polenta cake, and the duck is on top of the polenta with a little bit of I think it's called huckleberry sauce, demi-glace on it, little greens. Okay, that is duck. Okay, duck à l'orange and different kinds of duck presentation. Then let's take a look at goose. A goose contains only dark meat and has very fatty skin, usually roasted at high temperatures to render the fat. Roasted goose is popular at holidays and is often served with an acidic fruit-based sauce to offset the fattiness. Goose. Okay. Here's some goose dishes. Traditionally, it is served around Thanksgiving as well. Goose. Okay. Roasted goose with a Maillard effect. You can have a little plate with some maybe some braised cabbage, a little bit of red wine, rosemary, a couple of boiled potatoes. Even though the other plates, okay, this one on the little one on the round plate, it has grits and a sauce, and the goose nicely sliced and shingled around the plate in the middle. Okay, this one has the one on the bottom has lentils as a starch slash veg, and again the breast is roasted, is cooked, sliced, shingled, and it has sauce drizzle around it. The one on the right hand side has center of the plate with height, and it's got microgreens on top. Okay, microgreens as garnish. Okay.
I really like that one.
Yeah, microgreens.
I have to come up with a recipe for, can you do the French cut on a duck breast or a goose breast?
The goose is gonna be kind of big, but you can do it.
Can?
You can't do the duck,
Is the average size of a goose breast bigger than a chicken? Of course.
It is.
Okay, by how many ounces? By a couple or two?
Yeah, no, at least more than double than that, because the goose is
really?
Goose is bigger than chicken.
Well, that wouldn't be good for me. Maybe a duck would be better than the goose, but we like goose.
Yeah, that would be better.
Okay, I'll talk to you about it.
Okay. Next, you have the guinea. Okay, guinea or guinea fowl is domesticated descent of the game bird. It is both light and dark meat and in flavor similar to pheasant. Guinea is tender enough to saute because it contains little fat. A guinea is usually barred before roasting. Guinea, which is relatively expensive, is not as popular in the United States as it is in Europe. Guinea. See that nice French cut guinea breast with the wing exposed? That is a French cut. It also has a lot of skin on it. Nice and golden brown, have the Maillard effect. And the one at the bottom, it's a different kind of plating. This is my favorite because it's got morel mushrooms. I love morel mushrooms. Morel mushroom sauce, the guinea breast sliced, and it's kind of shingled in half this way, okay? And the one on the right-hand side is using the leg of the guinea, okay, with some spinach and some sauce, okay? Guinea. Pigeon.
Those are all over the place. Like in my old neighborhood on the south side, do you ever see those, Chef?
Uh-huh.
They're all over the place.
Now,
And
you
they
know,
make a mess. They poop all over the place.
uh-huh.
They do.
But they're delicious, nice and tender. You also got, just like ducks, pigeon, also known,
Yeah, chef, the guinea is delicious. Ooh.
yeah, also known as squab. Young pigeon used in commercial food service operations referred to as squab. Meat is dark, tender, and well suited for broiling, sauteing, or roasting. Squab has very little fat and benefits from barding, but it's a little more gamier. Okay. The middle.
Yo, I seen somebody catch a pigeon one day. Literally, I was going to work and the dude was sitting there stalking the pigeon, and he grabs the pigeon off the ground, puts it in his bag, and hauls the ass on his bike. I was like, damn.
We had a guy do that with a squirrel.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was kind of just standing there smoking, and we just stood there watching him. We were like, one, I don't think you're allowed to have that in public. Two, he just like caressed the squirrel to come to him and then put it on his shoulder and walked off. And we were just like, okay.
What a baller. It just went on his shoulder and he walked away.
Yeah, he was just like, you're coming with me, kid.
Every year in Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas, there's a squirrel cooking competition from all across the states, and a lot of famous chefs that Louisiana Game Meats converge in there to have the squirrel cooking competition to see who cooks the best squirrel. I'm like, geez, man, I'm out. So yes, pigeon dinner. That's what you saw, Mr. Larry. Somebody was grabbing dinner. Middle picture is the beef puree. See that little the puree with a spoon and then the smear on the plate. Couple of fingerling potatoes, some little greens, and the squab. And what you see on top here is a gaufret potato, also called waffle potato, on top of the squab. Okay, easy to make, but you got to have a mandolin to make it. Okay. Right hand side is pomegranate puree dots on the squab, a little baby bok choy for veg, and the squab lollipop like you did last week, Miss Janet, that is bread and deep fried. Middle of the plate, fine julienne red and yellow bell peppers with green beans, a molasses sauce, and a little bit of greens here on the side. And the other one on the right hand side, on the yin and yang sauce, is pomegranate puree with chanterelle mushrooms, some green, and the squab on it. Okay.
I like that one a lot.
Guys, if you're not catching it, different plating presentation ideas for you guys coming up for your practical. Okay. Hope you guys are watching this like hawks. I hope you guys are taking notes. This will be loaded on the portal for you guys to go back and take a look at and get some ideas. Okay. Turkey.
Don't move it yet. Go back.
All right. Turkey next. Okay. Gobble, gobble, gobble. It's coming around the corner.
Okay.
Turkey.
Last night, Chef,
Yes.
I watched Chopped, and they had the executive chefs, and plating was so important because the one judging the plates was appearance. Like you say, you eat with your eyes. And this one guy was he was intelligent. He was genius the way he fused things together. And he literally, he had epilepsy or MLS, excuse me, as a child. And this was his dream to become a chef. And he's the one that won the competition last night. And something similar to a story like you shared with us in the beginning of class. It was just a total inspiration to see that because he was so outside the box, but so intelligent, creative with the way he plated. And he won the competition. It was awesome.
Yeah, I've talked to you a little bit about a book. Have I told you about a book that you need to buy? I think I did, your class. Did I tell you that?
You may have, but can you tell
How
me what
about,
book?
how about the Flavor Bible? It's one of the most important books you need to buy, guys, as going into culinary or pastry. It tells, it's a must. I would buy a soft cover first. And then once you have, if that's what your forte is, meaning to go and correspond with it, then I would buy the hardcover. But if you are just interested in understanding what flavors work together and how it goes, and you'll say, oh my gosh, I can't believe these two go together. It is a must. You can buy a soft cover for around, I'm going to say about $7 to $8. Our hardcover is $35. Don't put it on a bucket list for Christmas that somebody can get you. But it is really a great book of marrying flavors that you never thought would happen and how you can excel in making something work. So it's really an important factor if this is your life. Did you hear me? If this is your way of life of marrying different things and wowing people, it's a really good book on flavor. It's called The Flavor Bible. And Chef Miguel has some other ones. Bourdain, he loves Chef Bourdain. And so there's other books. But I think in the beginning, a journey in the beginning till you become what you want to do, Flavor Bible is an important factor that you need to get.
Because it'll show you what kind of flavors go together that you never thought will be married in that aspect.
Correct. It's a good one.
Good one. And I'll talk about the books later on. Turkey. Turkey's next. The second most popular category of poultry in the United States. Has both light and dark meat and a relatively small amount of fat. Younger turkey is economical, can be prepared in almost any manner. Okay. Around the corner for Thanksgiving. It doesn't have to be a massive buffet. Okay, with a roasted turkey, when you sit on the middle of the table, you can also plate that turkey. I see the bottom plate here. Okay, a little bit of stuffing, some turkey sliced breast, maybe a little bit of the wing or bone, maybe an artichoke, some currants or some jelly, right? Maybe you can even do a roulade, stuff it, and then slice it and shingle it. So have a little stuffing, maybe some green bean casserole. Grab the turkey breast, pound it, tenderize it, stuff it, roll it, tie it, roast it. Take it out, let it sit, slice it, and then shingle it around that stuffing to give it more center of the plate with height. So even turkey can be plated in a different way, okay? And again, the mind is, okay? It's out there, guys. You can do so many things, okay? Radites. Radites are
What is that?
related to the ostrich. Are a family of flightless birds with the small wings and flat breastbone. They include the ostrich, emu from the commercial, and the rhea. Redite meat, which is classified as red meat, is even thought is possibly flesh. It's dark, cherry red color with a flavor similar to beef. And I had it before, and it tastes just like steak, guys. Nice and medium rare. It is a little sweeter and soft with texture. It is low in fat and calories. Most redite meat is from birds slaughtered 10 to 13 months of age. Generally cut from the back, the thigh, and the leg. It is available as steaks, fillets, medallions, roasted, roast cubes, or ground. Redite meat is something prepared like veal. The more tender cuts, such as those from the back and thigh, can be marinated and then cooked by dry heat cooking methods, especially broiling, grilling, roasting, and pan frying. Because it has little fat, care must be taken care to avoid overcooking these products. I usually serve medium rare. Again, medium rare to medium, allowing these products to rest as the cooking helps ensure tenderness. Tougher cuts, such as those from the leg, are best ground or prepared with combination of cooking methods. Okay, here's what it looked like limu emu. Yeah, limu emu and Doug. Maybe Doug ate limu. Okay, like an ostrich. It is red meat. Okay, and again, even radites can be plated different ways. Okay, here you got center of the plate, the slice shingle around it, exposing the doneness of the steak. You have another one here with some greens on the bottom, maybe spaghetti squash, 2 redite steaks. You have a nice redite steak here on top of some greens, some pearl onions, slice and show the redness of the meat. Bottom left, you got some asparagus, too long, my personal opinion. Maybe a little bit of polenta, some mushrooms, and redite steak. Here in the middle of the screen, you got a nice red eye steak with sauce, some greens. And also now here, the bottom right hand side, you got what we call the striped red skin potatoes with grilled veggies, a little rosemary, and a plain and simple red eye steak, nice and grilled. Okay. So again, it can be plated different ways, guys. Okay. So nutrition, inspection, and grading of poultry. Okay, inspection, poultry produced for public consumption in the United States, subject to the USDA inspection. Inspections show that products are processed under strict sanitary guidelines and they're wholesome and fit for human consumption. Inspection does not indicate the product's quality or tenderness. Okay, grading is voluntarily and virtually universal. Okay, you know how to purchase poultry. If it stinks, smells like ammonia, if it's yellow in color, don't buy it. Okay. So Tuesday's menu, that's tomorrow. Okay, you got sauteed spinach. We are not going to do boneless leg and thighs. We're going to leave the bone in and skin on, okay? Hear me out, okay? Tomorrow's menu, you're not going to debone the leg or thigh meat. You're going to leave the skin on, okay? Because you are going to make coq au vin, cook in red wine. Those of you guys who are underage, maybe your parents or older roommates can go buy you a cheap bottle of wine. Even Trader Joe's has $2 chug, $1.99 for a bottle of red. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's cheap, okay? Because you're gonna cook it like a stew, okay? With large sliced carrots, celery, and onions, and also some pearl onions if you can find them, okay? Carrots alla vici, similar to the glazed carrots you guys cooked week 2, okay? And you're gonna brine the other leg and thigh meat for the next day, because you're gonna make southern fried chicken. So if you have a whole bird, tomorrow, half of it's for coq au vin and half of it is for the next day, southern fried chicken. So you may cook the leg and thigh along with one breast and the wing for the coq au vin, and you may serve the other leg, thigh, wing, and breast tomorrow, the next day for the southern fried chicken, okay?
Chef, what do you want us to do with the leg and thighs that we have already?
Use them.
It's for tomorrow's menu, or do you suggest we get another bird?
Use it for tomorrow's menu. That'll save you on your stipend, and also save you on fabricating the chicken for tomorrow.
Okay.
So are we using the chicken and thigh, or the leg and thigh meat, both tomorrow and Wednesday?
Using part of it tomorrow and part of it Wednesday. Okay. I know you bought 2 birds, right, Miss Haley?
Yes, chef.
So now you have both chickens for Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay.
Okay. I was like, damn, outed.
You can reserve one of the chicken breasts for Thursday's menu. You're gonna make bourbon glazed chicken.
Awesome.
Okay. So you need leg and thigh meat tomorrow. You need a leg and thigh meat on Wednesday. You need a chicken breast on Thursday. Okay. So that's the parts of chicken you need. Unless you're feeding your family, then you can buy another bird, fabricate it, and do more leg and thigh meat. But specifically, we're looking for the leg and thigh meat, muscle meat, because it's gonna be cooking like a stew, okay? So first one, saute spinach. Very simple, very easy. I would leave this at the last minute, okay? Make sure you have a large saute pan or stock pot to cook the spinach, because you're gonna start with this amount of spinach, you're gonna get this amount of spinach. You're not gonna get a whole bunch. Hot butter, melted, very hot. A little bit of minced garlic, spinach, and it's gonna saute really quickly. Season it with just salt, and that is it, plain and simple. As soon as it's wilted, set it aside. Do not leave it on the stove top, because you want it to be nice and bright green. You don't want it to be like the picture on the top left-hand side, which is like olive green, okay? Nice, bright green color in the sauteed spinach, okay? Minced garlic, maybe about 1 clove or 2, be sufficient. Spinach, again, you're gonna start with this much, you're gonna have this much spinach, okay? Plain and simple. If you want to go olive oil, you may go olive oil, but butter is gonna give you a better flavor. Okay? Coq au vin, okay? Chicken cooked in red wine, okay? Again, we're looking for the leg and thigh meat, bone in, skin on the coq au vin, okay? If you have your leg and thigh meat, like Ms. Trinity said, in your freezer, take it out today, thaw it out, and marinate it with red wine. No salt. couple of bay leaves, maybe a carrot or two, peel large dice, 2 ribs of celery, very large dice, and about half an onion, large dice, okay? Marinate that coq au vin today, okay? Tomorrow, when you make the coq au vin, okay, remove the leg and thigh meat. Don't discard anything from the bag you have it marinating in it, okay? Lightly dredge it in flour. Lightly dredge it in flour. Or you stock pot, you're gonna sear that chicken skin side down like you did sauteed chicken breast. Sear until it's golden brown. Remove that chicken, okay? Heat off, remove the chicken. Add your carrots, your onion, celery from your marinade away from the juice. Add them, saute them a little bit. Put your chicken back in there, and then put the marinade, all the marinade back in the pot with a little bit of chicken stock. I will say maybe a cup of chicken stock would be sufficient, okay? You're gonna let it simmer. You're gonna cover it, and you're gonna set it in the back burner to simmer. It takes about 30, 40 minutes until it's nice and tender, okay? At 30-minute mark, you're gonna remove the lid and fork check the chicken thigh and leg meat to see if it's nice and soft and it pulls apart and it's done. If not, put it back in the stovetop, give it a few more minutes, okay? When it's completely cooked, gently remove the leg and thigh meat, set it aside, keep it nice and warm, okay? Strain the juices into a container. Reserve the mirepoix, the onion, celery, carrots. We'll set them aside. Strain the juices, put them back on the stovetop, and then hit it with a little bit of, mix in a little bit of roux that you're gonna make on the side to thicken that sauce, like veloute, okay? And then you're gonna plate up your coq au vin. Here are some samples how to plate up a coq au vin, okay? You can either do some potatoes, maybe boil some potatoes at the bottom, okay? Put your chicken breast or your leg and thigh meat here on top, and then the sauce around it. That's the way you wanna go, okay? Maybe you wanna do the spinach on the side, and then maybe the coq au vin instead of the noodles here. Or maybe do the leg and thigh meat on a plate, okay? And then use that sauce to smear the plate on the side, like a little spoon, okay? Or maybe the bottom on another bowl, okay? The mirepoix on the bottom, and the thigh meat and the leg rested against the thigh meat with the sauce in the plate, okay? Or if you're using the breast, top right picture, get the breast, cut it in half, shingle it, and then put the leg bone sticking out with the sauce around it with a couple of the mirepoix from the diced celery, onions, and carrots on the side, okay? So coq au vin, okay, it's gonna take at least about an hour to do so. Again, take out the leg and thigh meat you did from last week and marinate it tonight. Don't wait till tomorrow, okay? This has to be done overnight. And the color of that meat is supposed to be like kind of a deep purple or a medium purple color, because the meat's supposed to soak up the colors from the red wine. That's what we're looking for. So don't be afraid if your chicken starts to look purple, okay? Purple rain. All right, Prince.
Now, Chef, so you can really, we're going to use a thigh meat and the drumstick, but you could use a breast if you had extra breast, right?
Correct. If you have extra breast, you can use it. But remember, you're using breast on Thursday for the bourbon grilled chicken breast.
No, I understand. I get it.
Yeah. So that's your coq au vin, okay? Easy, not that hard to make, all right, guys? Coq au vin, it just takes time, okay? But you're gonna sear it medium to high heat, and when you simmer it, bring it to a boiling point, drop the heat to low to simmer. You're gonna simmer for about 30, 40 minutes. Check the leg and thigh meat that is nice and tender, okay? Carrots alla vici, same process as the glazed carrot, but with no brown sugar, okay? You can slice them on a bias, you can slice them oblique, or you can slice them straight, your choice, okay? But remember, the thinner you slice them, okay, they're gonna cook really fast. So they need to be cut a little bit thicker, maybe half an inch thick, so they have time to cook and they're not falling apart when they're finally done, okay? Just some samples here. I don't expect you guys to do this little circle here on the side. And this one on the left bottom picture is a little polenta made with carrot juice, and the carrots embedded in the polenta, okay? So that's the menu for Tuesday, okay? So you have sauteed spinach, coq au vin, and carrot salvicci.
Wow.
2 side veggies.
I really like that circle one, Chef.
I know. You gotta have a spiral cut. I got one at the office. I have one here too. That's good for like 50 cents. So saute spinach, last minute. Do your coq au vin first. While that is cooking, start working on your carrots. Okay. When that is done, set them aside. Check your chicken. If it's done, take it out, and start working on the sauce. Once the sauce is done, then go with your spinach. Your spinach should be the last one to be done. Okay, guys. But remember, remove your leg and thigh meat from the freezer that you fabricated last week, and this is what you use for. Yes. Questions?
Chef, your internet connection, your voice is fading in and out. Your voice is fading in and out. You're breaking up on your internet connection.
Oh,
the class.
It seems to be okay on my side.
Screen is frozen right now.
I just sent him a text.
Thank you, Chef Popla.
I've been trying to.
So are we clear on tomorrow's menu?
Do we have the sauteed spinach plated with the carrots with the coq au vin, or will coq au vin be plated different, the spinach plated different, carrots plated different?
All the items are cooked separate.
Good question, Christopher. Chef.
Yes. So if you can't.
Christopher had a good question.
I know, I just answered on the chat.
Okay, thank you.
So cook everything separate, but assemble it on the same plate. Okay. That's where the challenge comes in, because you got 2 veg. One is sauté, one is glazed carrots. They have 2 different liquids. One will be a green liquid, one will be like a light orange liquid. So your challenge is to be able to find your artistic talent and plate up those 2 side dishes with the coq au vin. Noticing that the coq au vin has veggies and it has a sauce too, okay? But it can be done, okay? Here, I just give you a sample here. Different coq au vins, different plating presentations.
I've never had it. I'm going to do it tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, I got to go to the store and buy me another bottle of red wine, because the one I had, I took a glass of drink this Saturday.
Why not, Chef? You deserve it.
Yeah, I had to sit down and had a steak, and I was like, all right, might as well just have a glass of wine, and I did. Just chill.
Of course.
Yeah, but I'm going to have to go tonight to buy the wine and marinate my chicken tonight for tomorrow. So that's coq au vin. Any questions about tomorrow's menu? No question?
What kind of red wine should you get if you get red wine, or does it matter?
It doesn't really matter. I mean, you can get you can buy Franzia, Chablis. Personally, I like Merlot. Pinot Noir is a little bit too peppery, kind of spicy for me. Merlot is fine to cook with, because it's not that strong. It's a young wine. It's not aged, and it goes perfect in cooking. Any other aged wine like Cabernet, any of those Bordeaux is too heavy, it's too dry, and those are a little bit older wines. So Merlot, Pinot Noir is okay, but Pinot Noir is a little peppery.
Are you going to use the whole bottle of wine, or do you just get a small bottle and use a small bottle, Chef?
I'm going to get 1 bottle. I'm going to use about a half, because I'm going to use one leg.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Okay.
I use a lot of wine too, but I buy the small ones, so I don't have to open a whole big bottle. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
The other half is for tasting, right, Chef?
Tasting. Right.
Yes, Chef. Tasting.
If you have the right age. Okay?
Taste as you go, remember.
Yes, everything.
If you're the proper age, taste as you go. Any thoughts about Tuesday?
I have to wait. I'm not the proper age yet.
Are we using the beef stock at all?
You're gonna put hopefully you froze it because you're gonna need it not this week but the week after.
Okay, because I still have it too. I was gonna ask you that.
Yeah. Here's a little video of Coq I'm gonna put the link on the chat. Hopefully it's not gonna break up on you guys. Okay. I'm looking for the technique, not the recipe. Okay, guys, not the recipe.
Discover Small Professionals infused with what?
Copy the link.
Wow.
It does translate to cock with wine, but don't worry, we're going to use chicken. I mean, come on, you can't find rooster in a grocery store these days. But anyway, despite its very French and fairly inappropriate name, this praised chicken and wine dish is incredibly delicious and unbelievably simple. And if you're a fan of fans, stay tuned. We're going to use 3 fans to make this recipe. Before we get to that, let's go ahead and start by seasoning our chicken. And for this, I like to use bone-in, on chicken thighs. And I have 6 here. And these were huge. So they were a little bigger than I'm used to. We're going to go ahead and season both sides generously with kosher salt, and freshly ground black pepper. And what we'll do when those are sufficiently seasoned, we'll just set those aside, just leave them out at room temperature, and we're ready to move on to the bacon step. So I'm going to toss a whole bunch of sliced bacon into a cold skillet set on medium heat. And what we're going to do is cook this bacon until crisp. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be doing multiple fans here. So this is fan number 1, the bacon caramelization. And when we get to that point, let's go ahead and remove that bacon with a slotted spoon, leaving the fat in the pan. And at this point, we're going to crank.
Forgot about the bacon, guys. Okay, you got to do the bacon first.
Crank our heat up to high and brown the chicken. So I'm going to place that in skin side down. And I mentioned earlier, I was using particularly ginormous thighs for this. So my pan's a little crowded here. And when you combine a crowded pan with a surface that's already kind of sticky from cooking the bacon, you're going to have a very good possibility of the skin sticking, which as you can see, mine kind of did. But you know what? It really wasn't that bad. Most of them were okay, except that last one. That pretty much lost all its skin, but I was stubborn. I scraped it off the bottom and put it on top where it would have been, but that's okay. That didn't bother me at all. Do I seem bothered? No. And the reason is because this is going to be braised in that red wine sauce, it really doesn't matter. You're going to brown that skin side best you can. You're going to flip it over for a minute, brown the other side, and then we're going to remove the chicken from the pan, and you'll see we've created our second fond. First the bacon fond, then the chicken fond. And then I want you to drain all but 1 tablespoon of the fat. We want to leave a little bit in there because the next step is our third and final fond that we're going to make with the vegetables. So I'm going to toss in some sliced shallots, some diced onion, which traditionally should be pearl onions. And I'm also going to toss in a whole bunch of quartered mushrooms. We'll also toss in a big pinch of salt. And of course, many of you know what's going to happen here. The salt's going to draw water out of the mushroom and the onions, which is going to leak out and deglaze our double fond from the chicken and the bacon. And then that goodness is going to get absorbed by the vegetables.
You can cut your mushrooms in half if you want to, okay?
Which will then caramelize themselves to form our third and final fond. I mean, look at that. How ridiculously good is that going to be? And then once our vegetable mixture looks like that, we're going to make a very small, very quick roux. So I'm going to toss in a little chunk of butter. Hey, this.
So the roux, you're going to have it because you're going to have your chicken coated with flour. That's your roux, okay?
This is a French recipe after all. And then just a little bit of flour, like a rounded teaspoon, and we'll stir that in and we'll just cook that flour for about a minute just to take the raw edge off. And if you want, you can double that roux. If you want a thicker sauce, something closer to a gravy, that's not my style. All right, I want more of a lighter style kind of pan sauce texture to this. So we'll cook that flour in the butter for a minute. And then one of the stars of the show, the red wine. We will deglaze with some decent red wine. Okay, you're only going to use about 1/3 of the bottle here. So you're going to get stuck drinking the other 2/3. So get something decent. And we'll take our wooden spoon and we'll stir that in, obviously scraping all that triple fond goodness from the bottom. And I'm going to stand there stirring until it comes back to a simmer. It's going to kind of thicken up a little bit. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and throw in some herb, some fresh thyme sprigs. And if you want to do that thing with that string where you tie them all together so you can just fish them out at the end, go ahead. Or you can do what I do and not do that. Those are pretty easy to find and pick out later. And then next up, we're going to make it rain bacon. Whatever you have left, because you probably ate some of that, didn't you? How did I know? I hear things. So let's stir in that bacon. And I'm going to guess and say that red wine has reduced by about a third, something like that. It's been simmering like that for a few minutes. And then for our last steps here, let's go ahead and pour in some chicken stock or broth. And it probably wouldn't be a bad idea at this point to make sure your oven is preheated to 375. And then last but not least, before this goes in the oven, we will nestle our chicken thighs back in, because as soon as this mixture heats up again and starts simmering, we're going to go ahead and pop it in. And if you want to give it a little baste before it goes in, go ahead. I did. Seems appropriate. And then we're going to place that pan uncovered in the center of our 375-degree oven for about an hour or until the chicken's tender. And speaking of optional basting, about halfway through, I do like to open the oven and give those a little basting. Just go ahead and spoon over that braising liquid. And again, that's optional. You don't have to. You decide. You are the ace of baste. And after about 1 hour at 375, mine look like this. That looks pretty good, but kind of greasy. But don't worry, that's the next step. So we will remove the chicken to a warm serving platter. If you want to throw a lid on that or some foil to keep it warm, not a bad idea. And we'll place our braising liquid on high heat, bring it up to a simmer. And what we'll do is we'll reduce that down for about 5 minutes. I want to concentrate those flavors. I want it to thicken up a little bit. And while that's happening, of course, you're going to skim all the excess fat off the top. Okay, some recipes we leave it, but this is not one of those. And of course, if you see any of those thyme sprigs, pull those out. And that is pretty much it, except of course, you're going to taste for seasoning, especially salt. Other than a pinch with the mushrooms and some on the chicken, we have not seasoned this because there's salt in the bacon. There's a little bit of salt in the stock. So you got to be careful, but you'll want to taste and adjust here. And once it looks great and tastes great, you're ready to serve up. So I'm going to transfer that sauce over those still warm thighs, possibly garnish with a little more fresh thyme. And it was smelling so fantastic. I had to stop and eat some before the final plating. And who knew something cooked with onions, bacon, mushrooms, and red wine would be tasty, but it was. Of course, the only problem with eating out of the pan here is you can't see that amazingly beautiful sauce. So let me plate this up properly on some garlic mashed potatoes. I did some little gem lettuce with a mustard vinaigrette to kind of balance the richness. And you people that are freaking out right now, go ahead and use a side plate. But I'm not afraid to get some sauce on my lettuce. I mean, come on. But anyway, like I've already said, just incredibly delicious. And don't get me wrong.
And this should be the color of the red wine, the meat. Okay, that's what you got to marinate it tonight. Yeah, don't forget about the bacon. So the bacon, the mushrooms, the bacon first, then the chicken nicely floured, and then sear it off, remove, and then go with your mirepoix and your mushrooms stuff with it. Okay, real easy. And I prefer not to have it in the oven because I can't see it. So I'm gonna do mine in the stove top in the back burner. If you want to do yours in the oven, go for it. But I'm gonna check it about 30 minutes, see how it's done. Okay, control that heat at medium to simmer. So Kokovan for Tuesday, okay? Kokovan. Let's talk about Wednesday, okay? Pan frying. We're gonna recap pan frying. I'm gonna pop another link for the carrots vichy on the chat. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Okay. For you guys to watch at your convenient time. Okay. You see. So I know we made less carrots last week, but this one is for carrots vichy. It's a little bit different recipe. The recipe is on the book. Okay. This one. Okay. Here's the link on the the carrots vichy on the chat. Okay, for you guys to take a look at when you have time. But let's take a look at Wednesday. Where did he go? Wednesday, we're looking at frying because again, Wednesday it's your southern fried chicken. Okay. A little recap on pan frying is not deep frying, it's pan fry. If you still have your oil for your potatoes, use it that day. Okay, that's why I got mine saved and I'm gonna use it for this day. Okay, then after this I can throw it out. Okay. So pan frying. Pan frying shares similarities with both saute and deep frying. It is a dry heat cooking method, which is heat is transferred by conduction from the pan to the food using a moderate amount of fat. Heat is also transferred to the food from the hot fat by convection. Food to be pan fried easily coated in breading. This forms of seals. Keeps the food moist and prevents the hot fat from preventing the food and cause it to become greasy. Okay. Pan frying foods properly first heat the fat and then on the saute pan. They use enough fat so that when the food is to be cooked is added, the fat comes 1/3 halfway with the item being cooked. The fat should be at the temperature somewhat lower than it used for sauteing. So 350 degrees. That's how hot your fat should be at, okay? It should not be smoke hot, but it should be hot enough to the when the food is added, it crackles and it spatters from the rapid vaporization of moisture. That's what happens when you drop it and see little bubbles. That's the moisture is coming out of it. If the temperature is too low, the food will absorb the excess amount of fat. And if it's too high, the food will burn on the outside before the interior is fully cooked. So if it's too low, it's going to become soggy and your food is going to taste like oil, okay? When the food is properly browned on one side, use a fork, tongue to turn it without piercing, okay? Always turn the food away from you to prevent being burned by any fat that may splash. So when you turn the food, I'd like to use a long pair of tongs. I grab it and I turn it away from me, not towards me, okay? Because you don't want to splash yourself and burn yourself, okay? Gently, so you don't tear it apart. So procedures for pan-fried foods. Cut, pound, otherwise prepare the food to be pan-fried, then bread, batter, or flour as needed, okay? So southern fried food. If you use the regular breading procedures, flour, egg wash, panko breadcrumbs, the breading may become really, really doughy, okay? It may become so dense. But if you go like a chicken fried steak, buttermilk, seasoned flour, flour, buttermilk, seasoned flour, and then pan fried. Be careful because the coating is going to be so tender, so delicate. When you try to pick it up and flip it, the coating may come off. Okay, so flour, buttermilk, and flour. Okay, you may add garlic powder. You may add a little bit of granulated onion for that mix to give it a little flavor. Okay, maybe a little bit of paprika, not too much, because it's going to turn your breading really red. Okay. Heat moderate amount of fat and oil in a heavy pan, usually enough to cover half the item and 1/3 of the way at the sides. You're not deep frying, you're pan frying, okay? Remember, it's gotta be at 350 degrees. Add the food to the pan, being careful not to splash on the hot fat. Fry the food on one side until brown, using the tongs, and brown the other side. Generally, the pan fried foods are fully cooked when they are brown on both sides. Remove the food from the pan and drain absorbent paper before serving. So before that, on tomorrow, you need to brine the chicken leg and thigh meat for the beef frying. Let me see if I can pull the recipe. It should be on there, how to brine that chicken. No, not here. Because you gotta, by brining the chicken is gonna make it more tender for the next day. There it is, the brine recipe. Okay, so the recipe for the brine is in your portal, okay, guys? Anyways, fry the food until brown on one side, remove from the pan and drain in a absorbent towel, just like we did the French fries, okay? If you have one of those little wire racks, put it in there or put it on a paper towel so it drains the fat off. You don't want to bite into it and be all greasy with oil, okay? Deep frying is a dry heat cooking method that uses conduction and convection to transfer heat to food, submerged in hot fat like your French fries. That's deep frying, okay? Although conceptually similar to boiling, deep frying is not a moist heat cooking method because of the liquid, in fact, contains no water. Key difference between boiling and deep frying is the temperature of the cooking method. The boiling point is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. It is the hottest temperature which food can be cooked in water. This temperature, most foods require long cooking period for the surface sugars cannot caramelize. With deep frying, temperatures up to 400 can be used, but 400 is way too high. You're going to burn your product, okay? This high temperatures cook food more quickly and allow food surface to brown. Foods to be deep fried usually first coated with batter or breading. You're going to also be deep frying your tempura vegetables on Friday. Okay? Preserves moisture and prevents the food from absorbing the excess of quantities of fat. Foods to be deep fried should be of a size and shape that allows them to float freely on the fat. Foods that are deep fried in the same fat used for more strongly flavored ones, as the former could help develop an odd taste on the residual flavor left in the fat. Deep fried foods should cook thoroughly while developing an attractive deep golden brown color. Wednesday, your southern fried chicken may not be cooked to 165 internal degrees temperature once you deep fry it. It's going to be nice and golden brown on the outside, but temp it. If it's not 165, preheat your oven to 350 and have that breaded fried chicken on the sheet tray. Pop it in the oven for about 15-20 minutes until the internal temperature of that chicken leg and thigh gets to 165 degrees, okay? So remember, it's not gonna be fully cooked. Don't think that you try, you go, oh, it's done, and go bite into it. You're gonna be biting into salmonella, okay? So recovery time is usually very slow. Temperatures are difficult to control. Also, the fat can spill easily, leading to injuries and creating a fire hazard. Deep fry food, first heat the fat and oil to temperature between 325 and 375, just like you guys did on French fries. So you guys know all this deal, okay? What else? Most batter food initially sinks to the bottom when placed in hot fat, then rise to the top when cooked. Or you can put vegetables. You're gonna grab one at a time, put in the oil, here's the oil, put it in there, hold it until you see it floating, and then you let it go until it starts floating by itself, okay? Because if you put in the oil and drop it, it's gonna sink to the bottom, it's gonna get stuck to the bottom of the pan, okay? Procedures for deep frying food: cut, trim, otherwise prepare the food to be deep fried, bread or batter as it is desired. Heat the oil or fat in desired temperature using either the basket method or the swimming method. To put a batter is swimming method, okay? Carefully placing the food in the hot fat. Deep fry the food until done. Done is usually determined by timing, surface color, or sampling. I always like to sample. I showed you guys the week one in Thursday. One of my interns from Le Cordon Bleu, the Macbeth department, has sent out a chicken tender that was still raw in the middle. It was golden brown, was still raw. So check your chicken, okay? Make sure it's tempered, okay? What else? Fat for deep frying. Many types of fat can be used for deep frying, okay? Although animal fats such as rendered fat, beef fat, are sometimes used to import the specific flavors of deep fried foods. Mickey D's, right? What are the Mickey D's used for the frying the French fries? What kind of fat?
Peanut oil?
Yeah, they also use some beef fat too, give it more flavor.
Vegetable oil?
French fries are so good. I'm like, yeah, I love the French fries. But again, they use peanut oil and beef fat to give that flavor.
Chick-fil-A uses canola oil.
Beef fat, sometimes used to impart the specific flavors to deep fried foods. Their low smoke point generally make them unsuitable for deep frying unless blended with the vegetable fats. By far, the most common fats used for deep frying are vegetable oils such as soybean, peanut, canola oil, all which have high smoke points and are relatively inexpensive. The best one to fry beignets from Louisiana is cottonseed oil. That's a different oil, okay? Cottonseed oil for beignets. Anyways, different topic, different subject. Especially formulated deep frying compounds are also available. These are usually composed of vegetable oils or oils in which anti-foaming agents, antioxidants, and preservatives have been added. These additives increase the oil's usable life and raise their smoke point. That's when you work in the kitchens, industrial kitchens, you fry oil. You're supposed to change it. It's going to be a little bit sarcastic here. Every 3,000 miles or every 3 months, right? Because the oil in the fry later, the more usage you get of it, it starts to turn like Texas tea, right? Dark, thick, nasty. That's what we always in the kitchen say. Have you changed the oil every 3,000 miles or not? Because you can take a look at it. If it's not clear enough, that needs to be strained and then changed and then deep fry oil clean. Okay, but that oil is made to last for a long time. That's why when it gets cold, it coagulates, almost like looks like lard. Okay, because it has so many preservatives to make it last longer. Okay, so you're not buying so much oil.
Are you talking to her?
The deep fried fats may be also hydrogenated. Hydrogenated is a chemical process that adds hydrogen to oil, turn the liquid oil into a solid. Hydrogenated fats are more resistant to oxidation and chemical breakdown. To choose the right fat, consider flavor, smoke point, and resistant to chemical breakdown. High quality frying fat should have a clean or natural flavor and a high smoke point. When properly maintained, should be resistant to a chemical breakdown. Okay. Properly maintained deep fried fat will greatly extend its useful life. Okay, that's why the French fries oil, I saved it, cooled down, I have it in the mixer with a lid on it. I did not leave it exposed to the air, otherwise it'll turn rancid. And I'm gonna use that tomorrow for my Southern fried chicken. Okay. Procedures for storing fats for deep frying: store the fat tightly sealed containers away from strong lights. Cover deep fried fryer when not in use. Prolong exposure to air and highlight turns the fat rancid. Mine is in a sealed mix cup. Okay, I don't want it to turn rancid because I want to use it again. Skim and remove food particles from the surface. Food particles cause fat to break down. They are not removed. They will be accumulated in the fryer and burned. At work in the kitchens, you got the fryers. Well, when they're done, a lot of cooks tend to put a sheet tray over the fryer, okay, to cover the oil, okay? Because if they turn it off, let it cool down, they strain, and they put it back in there, right, and they leave it open, the air is still circulating. The fat is going to turn rancid. So a lot of cooks like to put sheet trays on top of the fry oil to prevent it from going rancid, okay? Do not salt the food over fat, okay? Salt causes fat to break down chemically. So don't sit there and sprinkle some salt on your item when you're frying it. Prevent excessive water from coming into contact with the fat. Pat dry moist foods as much as possible before cooking. That's how we did the French fries. Pat them dry and then drop them, okay? Otherwise, you have a volcano eruption of grease. Do not overheat the fat. High temperature breaks down the fat. Filter the fat each day after you ship, and the fryer is heavily used. Again, it depends on the usage. Then you filter it each day, so you remove all the impurities and put the oil back in there, okay? Wednesday's menu. Pan-fried chicken. The other leg and thigh meat and wing. Pan gravy, veloute, if you want to call it. Mashed taters. You already did mashed potatoes the second week, okay? Grilled veggies, we are not going to grill. You can either saute or roast. I'm going to roast mine instead to give it a nice charred look on it, okay? And we're not going to work on the reduction in glaze for the next week, okay? That's your stock. Save it aside, freeze it, okay? So southern fried chicken, pan-fried, pan gravy, taters, and roasted veggies. It is a hearty meal, and it's one of my favorite days. Too bad I don't have any collard greens in my house, but man, I'll be in heaven with some bacon. Oh yeah, okay. So pan-fried chicken, okay. Flour, buttermilk, flour, okay. But season the flour with salt, a little bit of pepper. Maybe you want to put some chili powder, that's fine. Some paprika, some garlic, grounded onion, give it some flavor. I'm going to use Mrs. Dash on mine. I'm going to use lemon pepper on mine too. So I'm going to season it, dredge my chicken, shake it off, buttermilk, again, dredge it very nicely, and then pan fry it until it's golden brown. I'm going to take it out, check the internal temperature. If it's not 165, put it in my sheet tray, pop it in the oven at 350 or 375 until it reaches the internal temp of 165 degrees, okay? Pan fried southern chicken. Yes, it is southern, so don't go crazy on the seasonings, okay? What else? So this is different ways of, playing with your chicken, not just throw it on the plate and here you go. Again, be creative with your chicken as you present it, okay? Pan gravy. You're making pan gravy. Veloute, pretty much what it is, okay? Veloute, okay? You're also making mashed potatoes, just like you did the second week, potato cookery. Okay, mashed potatoes, okay, on your chicken. I'm going to pipe mine, so I'm going to play with the presentation of the pan southern fried chicken on my plate, okay? Be creative with your food, guys. Be creative with your food, okay? And then I am not going to grill my veggies. I don't have a grill. I'm going to roast mine instead, okay? So veggies, it's all about the knife cuts, okay? All about the knife cuts, okay? For your chicken, it can be a medium to large dice on your veggies. If you got bell peppers, if you got carrots, if you got yellow squash, some onions, that sort of thing, okay? If you're going to roast them, cut them, lightly toss them in canola oil, season it with a little bit of salt, maybe a touch of pepper, okay? And then pop them in the oven until it's nicely roasted and charred. Take them out, let them cool, and start assembling your plate, okay? Southern fried chicken, mashed potatoes, roasted veg, pan gravy. Let's have some fun this day. Show us your skills. Show us your plating techniques on Wednesday, okay? Any thoughts and questions about this day?
Yes, Chef, I have a question.
Sure.
I bought bread flour last week when we made pasta. Can you use that to coat the chicken for pan frying?
You can if you want to use the regular breading procedures, flour, egg wash, and breadcrumbs.
Yes.
I think I might do mine both ways, one with buttermilk and then the other one with bread flour so you can see the differences, okay?
Okay.
Any questions about Wednesday's menu? Any questions? Easy day, Awesome day, hearty meal. You might want to take a nap afterwards. Yeah, right?
Does the white wine go better with that dish or red wine?
This one, white one will be suffice, suffice for this dish. I will say maybe a Chardonnay is fermented in an oak barrel, so it's a little smoky flavor to match the intensity of the roasted veggies and also the cut the grease from the fried chicken. I wouldn't do a Chablis; it's too acidic. I wouldn't do a Riesling; it's a little bit semi-sweet. What else? Poulet Fusette, no. I will do like I said, a Chardonnay. Okay.
Okay.
So, pan-fried chicken, gravy, groovy, mashed taters, and the roasted veggies. That's on Wednesday. It's an awesome day, guys. Okay. I wish I had more time so we can do some buttermilk biscuits to go with it. Oh, damn. Oh, yeah. That'd be all set. Some good old buttermilk, flaky biscuits to go with it, or some honey rolls.
Shit, we can start the day, Chef. What's up?
All right. If you got time, if you know how to make some biscuits, go for it. But if you don't worry about it, okay?
All right.
All right. So that's on Wednesday. Any questions about Wednesday's meal? No? Okay. Let's take a look at Thursday. Let's go to Thursday. Okay. Thursday is your last day of chicken. We're going to be chicken out by Thursday. Okay. Thursday, let's revise grilling. Okay. We're not going to grill our chicken unless you have a grill. Go for it. Yes, Chef Paula. Questions? You're muted. You're muted, Chefy.
10-minute break. It's 2 hours in.
All right. Well, guys, come back at 12:10.
Okay. Thank you, Chef.
He's bugging me. My puppy wants to go out. All right, let's come back at 12:10. Okay, guys?
All right. Thank you.
Yes, Chef. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend my break taking my dogs out.
How was your weekend, Sheffy?
Huh?
How was your weekend?
Well, I went Saturday to, I had to do those 500 cookies
Yeah.
to that event. There was 500 people there.
Wow.
I couldn't get over it. There was a lot of people. So it's a good thing. But you know what I learned? I did was shoot apples. Have you ever done that before?
How you shoot them?
There's a, you know, like, you know, those things that fly in the sky and you shoot up there and then you get that disc and you shoot them? Well, they do it with apples.
A clay pigeon, Chef?
Yeah, it was so much fun. We went with my grandkids and I learned how to shoot apples. It was phenomenal.
Well, apples are tricky. You got to get them really quick.
Well, they have these holes that you have to put these apples through, you know? I didn't, of course, get through the hole, but but it was fun. It was a pumpkin patch. It was in Bastrop.
Okay.
And they had different stuff going on all over the place, you know.
That's nice.
But it was worth it, yeah. But other than that, just around the stuff, somebody always calling me to do something. Kept busy.
When I got my oil changes with my cars.
I saw that you voted. I'm so proud of you, Sheffy.
Yeah, I had to. And the line wasn't.
No. I tried, and the lines are too big over here, so I didn't go anywhere around here.
The line was about 20 people long, and it was fast.
Really? Well, I told you the line for me, maybe there was 100, 150 people in front of me.
Wow.
Every time I went. So I'm going to wait till next week. This week, and get it done.
Okay.
But I'm proud of you. Did you hear me?
Yeah, it took me, I didn't get back home till like almost 4 o'clock p.m. I'm like,
yeah.
You know, I barely got a chance to, you know, do my house chores, clean, laundry, that sort of thing. Didn't do my backyard. So,
yeah.
You know, I was like, should I go out and get something to eat? Nah. So I had a bowl of, no, I did. I went to the store, got a steak. What else? I had some, the rice that was left over from last week. So I had rice, steak, and that was it.
Did you get some, did Raph give you some extra chicken that you could have brought home?
Yeah, it's fabricated in front of them for this week.
Okay, good. Good. I was gonna go, but then I said, no, I'm just might as well go to the store and buy a couple of chicken because I really want to make that coq au vin because I've heard so much about it. I want to do that one, and then yeah, that's really the one that I want to make. Are we going to be making duck later on? Or no?
That's in regionals.
Oh, okay. That's because something's come up, and it's going to be a plated meal for 100 people for me. And I think I really want to do a wow factor, so I really would like to do duck. But you said the duck or goose is too big pieces, aren't they?
This is too big.
For dinner, but the people are also charging $200 for the meal.
Ooh, okay.
So I've got to give them something in return.
I think duck would be fine.
You think that duck will be good for that? Because I need to do it as a 7-course meal, so plated.
Okay.
Is my poor dog. She had a rough night the other night.
Ooh.
So, Chef, I was looking at the menu as well. So it says we needed skinless chicken and bone-in chicken. So basically, I should get another chicken and fabricate it, pretty much, if I haven't already.
Bourbon glazed chicken on Thursday. You need this day it's gonna be skinless, boneless.
Yeah, that's what is that? The chicken breast though?
Yeah, the chicken breast.
Okay. Dang, everything's skinless and boneless.
Well, in that day.
I just got a warning.
All right, thanks, Chef.
You're welcome.
Chef, I bought an immersion blender
Ooh.
from Bed Bath & Beyond, and now I don't have to make mayonnaise with a whisk anymore.
So much easier with immersion blenders to make mayonnaise.
Yes.
And really important, you know, I mean, slowly buy your stuff and keep it up and take care of it, and you'll have it for a long time. The only thing about buying it at Bed Bath & Beyond, look at the vamp on it, of how strong it is. Sometimes you get a really good deal, but it doesn't have enough oomph in it to do what you want it to do, Janet. Did you hear me?
Well, I looked it up. I always do research on stuff.
I'm so glad that you do that. Not many people think about that. Do you get what I'm saying? And they just think it's a good deal, but you got it together. You've got it together. You've been to New York. You've been to New York, girl. I got it.
I'm frugal. I'm trying to.
No, I understand. No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
You're back? We told the chef I'm gonna have to go buy some bourbon too.
Can we substitute whiskey?
You can't. I'm not a whiskey person, bourbon or scotch, but you don't have to buy some. I'm more of a sake person.
Of whiskey. Or tequila.
Yeah, the only tequila that I like is it's called Agavero. It's in a blue bomb-looking bottle, and it's a tequila liqueur. You sip it like a port or a sherry, but it's so thick and syrupy, like cough syrup. But man, it's strong like a son of a.
Chef, you know what's terrible?
What is it?
I'm allergic to tequila.
Wow. So no margarita.
If I drink it, I have to go to the hospital.
Wow.
I really feel sorry for you.
That's what everybody says.
And
Oh yes, let's talk about Thursday. Thursday. Coming around the corner. Okay, Thursday. So, all right, cool. Okay, message, Larry. Okay, all right, cool. Thursday. About grilling. Okay, you guys are going to be sautéing or pan searing because again, I don't expect you guys to grill your chicken. But if you were to grill it, okay, make sure the grill is clean first. Okay. Turn the knobs on to high. Make sure the pilots are lit. Do not turn the knobs on to high, and then try to light it with a paper or a lighter because it's going to have that explosion. You're going to singe your eyebrows. Okay. Leave the grill for about 10 minutes until it gets hot, and you can feel the heat on top of the grill. And then you turn the knob to medium heat to retain that temperature. Okay. What else? Yeah, so grilling. Okay. This one is going to go really fast, guys. Okay. We're going to be spending more time on tomorrow's Friday's menu instead. History of bourbon chicken. A little bit of history. Okay. Bourbon chicken is thought to become Bourbon Street. It's thought to come from Bourbon Street in Louisiana. Recipe has its roots in Kentucky. Yes, Jonathan. So whiskey is fine. Majority bourbon is barreled in the States. Maker's Mark, Jim Beam, Wild Turkey, Buffalo Trace, Woodford Reserve, Knob Creek, McKenna, etc. Bourbon takes its name from a Bourbon County, named for the French royal family in Kentucky. And while bourbon can be made anywhere in the U.S., all but a couple of brands are made in Kentucky. And Kentucky is the only state that is allowed to put his name on the bottle. Jack Daniels, ooh, bad experience with Jack Daniels. And George Nickel are barrel in Tennessee, but they are not bourbons. Okay. Contrary to the popular belief, they are sour mash whiskeys distilled through charcoal, which is not part of the bourbon process. Okay, so Tennessee is not bourbon, only Kentucky. If it's made in Kentucky, it can be called bourbon. Okay, Tennessee's whiskey. Okay. Some more about the name bourbon. Another interesting story about the French royal family is the effect it had on the naming of the streets in the French Quarter, New Orleans. King Louis, having received his plans for the street grid in the quarter, set about assigning street names. He labeled the main street Bourbon, his family name, and Royal Burgundy, etc. He named the cross streets for his children, Toulouse, Domaine, Orleans, Conti, etc. But because the kids fought all the time, King Louis alternated the kid named streets with street names after saints. Okay, as you travel down Bourbon Street, you cross Iberville or Bienville, two famous French military men, generals, who guard the entrance to the quarter. Then you cross Conti Street, Louis, Toulouse, Saint Peter, Orleans, Saint Anne, Domaine, Saint Philip, etc. In just that order. Okay, King Louis felt that by setting a saint street between each of his kids' streets, he could keep the peace. Those French, gotta love them. So if you're from Louisiana, been there, you know the streets, now you know a little bit of history about why the streets are named after saints and certain names, okay? So tempura batter, okay? Tempura batter, you're gonna make tempura batter this day. And the best liquid to use is Topo Chico, carbonated water, Calistoga, Perrier, club soda, okay? Tempura batter is a Japanese dish of battered deep-fried vegetables and seafood. Best served hot with salt or tempura dipping sauce. Commonly garnished with grated daikon radish. Common ingredients to fry are shrimp, squid, green bell pepper, eggplant, sweet potatoes, kabocha, carrots, mushrooms, and shiso. Many of the ingredients to make tempura can easily be found at your local grocery store. The trick of perfect tempura is to get the batter as light as possible while keeping it nice and crispy. If you know some tips, it is not hard to make delicious tempura at home. By following a few steps, you can achieve the restaurant quality tempura in your own kitchen. Nowadays, they got tempura batter in the box, so you have to add the liquid. Okay. Anyways, the batter, use cold water or ice water for the batter. Important to prevent the batter from absorbing too much oil. Use cake flour instead of all-purpose. Okay, cake flour. The lower content of protein helps minimize the formation of gluten in the batter, which prevents the bready crust or real doughy. Do not prepare the batter ahead of time. It is better to make the batter right before frying the tempura. Okay. Do not overmix the batter. You actually want it to be somewhat lumpy, using a few chopsticks, kind of a stabbing motion to help to combine the ingredients without mixing it too much. Definitely do not use a whisk. This will activate the glutinous and create a chewy coating. So when making tempura batter, it's advisable to use chopsticks, not a whisk. Do not coat the ingredients with too much of the batter. While the outside is crispy, the inside could be mushy. Okay. Frying tempura veggies. If you're frying both seafood and vegetables, fry vegetables first. Then
Chef, really quick, can you go back so I can take a picture? Oh, wait, will this be on the portal after class?
Yeah. Oh, yes,
No?
I'm going to put this light on the portal.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna load it, yeah. Okay. Frying tempura veggies. If you're frying both seafood and veggies, fry vegetables first, then fry seafood. Lightly coat the seafood or vegetables in the cake flour before dredging in the batter. This allows the batter to adhere better. The right temperature to fry tempura is around 340, 360. I said 350 degrees. If you don't have a deep fryer or a candy thermometer, check the temperature of the oil by dropping a little bit of batter into the oil. If the batter comes up right away, instead of sinking to the bottom of the pan, it is higher than 370. If the batter goes halfway to the bottom, it comes up, it's about 340, 360 degrees. Okay, if you don't have a thermometer. Make sure you maintain the oil temperature by lowering or raising the heat. If the temperature is not hot enough, the batter will absorb too much oil and won't be crispy. If the oil is too hot, tempura will burn. Okay? The tempura should be surrounded by bubbles as it cooks. The bubbles are get larger. It means it's almost done cooking. Most of the ingredients only need 2 to 3 minutes aside. Okay? As the tempura cooks, drizzle some batter using your fingers over each of this dish called hano kaseki, sakesiri, and make the tempura even crispier. You can move any straight fried batter with a slided spoon and serve it on top of a salad noodle dishes. Nice and crispy. That's when we go to Long John Silver's. They have little crispy nuggets. Oh man, delicious. Nice and crispy and crunchy. Okay. So on Thursday, this is your last day of chicken cookery. This is your menu Thursday. Okay. Roasted potatoes, red skin potatoes, not Idaho russet. Red skin roasted potatoes. Apricot bourbon grilled chicken. Okay. And we're going to go with the shopping list to see all the ingredients are there. Okay. Apricot bourbon grill. You don't have a grill, saute it. Okay. The breast and the tenderloin are best suited for this chicken. Okay. Not the leg and thigh meat. Breast and the tenderloin best suited for this chicken. Okay. And you find the table veggies, whatever veggies you can buy at the store, yellow squash, bell peppers, that sort of thing. Okay. But don't break your bank. Be frugal about the veggies you buy at the store for this day. Okay. So roasted potatoes, roasted red skin potatoes. You may cut them in half. You may quarter them. You may stripe them. You may tourne them. Your choice. Okay. You're gonna season them with. You're gonna wash the dirt and the oil, all that stuff off. Pat them dry. Toss them with canola oil. A little bit of salt. Maybe some fresh cracked black pepper. Not the ground. Not for the prepackaged. Okay. Maybe some fresh herbs. Okay. Put them in a sheet tray, hopefully lined with aluminum foil so you don't burn the sheet tray, they're scrubbing it afterwards. Okay. Roast them in the oven. I will set 350, 375 until you see this charcoal on the outside and it's nice and soft. You can pass the thermometer right through them or you can pinch them and squeeze them. Okay. Roasted red skin potatoes. Your starch. Apricot bourbon chicken. Whiskey is fine. If you are not of age, maybe your parents or roommates can buy a little bourbon or whiskey to marinate your chicken. Also make a glaze out of the apricot sauce. Usually I serve a little bit of apricot on the side with the whiskey, put it back in the stove down, hit a little bit of chicken stock and make a nice nappe sauce and then smear the plate for the presentation. Okay. Marinate your chicken. Okay. Skin on the breast. Okay. Sear it like you did saute fried French cut breast of chicken. Pop it in the oven to finish cooking it. Okay. apricot bourbon chicken. Okay, it is delicious, guys. It's really, really good. Okay, the alcohol, you can taste it, but it's not going to have any alcohol effect. You're not going to get tipsy. Everybody get tipsy, right? Not this day. Tempura veggies. I know. Welcome to sample school. Tempura veggies. Okay, the best way to do so: cut them, not too thick, not too thin. Okay. Coat them in cornstarch. Okay, roll them in cornstarch, shake them off, and then dip them in the batter. Okay, make sure the batter is straight off of it. I mean, it's dripping on the side, make sure there's no extra batter on it, and then slowly, here's your oil. Drop the veggie by holding it until it floats, and just let it go gently. Okay, until it turns that color, and then fish them out. You put them on your landing with a paper towel to drain off any excess oil. Okay. Again, the best way to do so is coat them with cornstarch and then the batter, and then get as much batter as you can off, and then slowly drop one at a time. This is going to take your longest time to do so. You got to go slow. You got to go one at a time. You got to take your time with the tempura veggies. You cannot do them all at the same time. You cannot just drop them all at the same time because it'll sink to the bottom and they'll clump up. You maybe do 2 or 3 at a time, depending on the size of your pot. So this one is the one you're going to take the longest. You can have broccoli, you can have cauliflower, sweet potatoes, bell pepper, carrots, onions, green onions, what else? Maybe some, I don't know, like cabbage. Any kind of veggies are suitable for tempura batter, okay? But again, you have to coat them in cornstarch first, okay, guys? Easy day, right? Easy day. You got rescue potatoes as your starch, bourbon apricot grilled chicken or seared chicken, okay, with the side of on the side of the bourbon apricot glaze, and you tempura veggies, okay. Light meal.
Chef.
Yes.
For that recipe for the chicken apricot brand, what is the best cut to use for that?
The breast, the chicken breast, the best cut.
Okay.
Even though I got a couple of legs and thigh pieces here, the breast is better, okay? Because you're not going to cook it for such a long time. Otherwise, the glaze is going to start to burn and caramelize on the outside, okay? That's why the breast is better, because it cooks faster, okay? That is your menu for Thursday, okay? That's your last day for chicken until the practical, okay? Say goodbye to the chicken. Let's take a look at Friday. Okay, where's Friday? Friday. And that's the end of week 4. Then we head into week 5. Friday. Beef is what for dinner? Beef, okay? We're gonna be talking about beef, guys, okay? From Friday, beef, I think Monday's beef, and then pork and then lamb. I think that's the way it goes, or veal. So beef, okay? Delicious beef. I like mine mooing. I don't like it cremated or burnt or caramelized or Cajun, okay? I like mine bloody raw. Heck, even raw. Yeah, rare is the better. Medium is okay. After that, I'm like, nah, dude, I'm out, okay? Yeah, mine was, I had the steak on Saturday. It was like, I cut up a couple of pieces. I'm like, beef.
Yeah, I only had, okay, so I got a small ribeye, and we got 3 of them for like my family yesterday when we went to go shopping for the week. And I was like, you know, I could probably make this steak rare to medium rare, but also get a nice crispy sear on it. And they're like, nah, you're going to overcook it. I got it though. I was proud.
Nice. Yeah, it's better to have it as rare as possible. I know my family knew as I eat my steaks rare or raw, they probably disown me.
We had a guy that we used to go to hibachi place all the time, and some dude was like, this entire table that was with us, we were like, yeah, we want rare to medium rare. And they're like, we want ours like super well done. And he's like, okay, if y'all want a shoe, there's a Cavender's down the street. I'm not serving you. And he just left.
Yeah, they're probably like, no. Beef from the whole animal. Here we go. This is the different cuts of beef. We call this the primal cuts, okay? Primal cuts, you got the chuck. by the shoulder. You get the rib from the shoulder blades and back. The short loin, the sirloin, the tenderloin, this little looking spear here. Top sirloin, bottom sirloin, the round, the shank, the flank, the plate, the brisket on the shank. Okay, those are the primal cuts of the beef, and from that you can do subprimal cuts. Okay, so the strip loin, the Kansas City strip steak, New York strip steak comes from the back here, so the green part where it says sirloin. Okay, tenderloin is the most tender and most expensive cut of meat from the cow. Has no fat, has no silver skin and no bone, really tender. So when you go to a restaurant and see the filet mignon on the menu, they use a tenderloin, center cut pieces, okay? Center cut pieces of the tenderloin. Filet mignon is traditionally served on top of a crostini with a demi-glace and a little fluted mushroom on top, wrapped in bacon. That's filet mignon, okay? If there's no bacon, no mushroom, no crostini on the bottom to catch the juices, no demi-glace, it is called beef tenderloin. That's it, okay? Sirloin, again, New York strip steak, Kansas City strip steak, even the Monaco steak from the sirloin. The short loin, which is right on top of the beef's, the cow, the top, that's where we get some of the short ribs, the bottom here too. And the rib part is where we get the prime rib from the short loin and the rib part. The prime rib comes to this side, okay? Usually sometimes you buy the bone-in prime rib. It's about this long, the bone rib, the bone-in rib, and the rib eye is attached to the bone. You cut the rib with the meat, and you can have a big old hunk of looking like Fred Flintstone kind of beef with the bone attached. We call that the war club, or what's it called? The war club, it's another name. The war club is one.
Tomahawk.
Tomahawk.
Tomahawk, yeah, tomahawk. Tomahawk and war club. And that is a 48-ounce cut of beef. It takes about 45 minutes to cook to medium rare. Tomahawk and war club is huge. It looks like a big old giant axe with the bone attached and the beef. 45 minutes to cook medium rare. Okay. So let's take a look at some beef. Okay. You go back and zoom back to the originals. Come on. Here we go. Okay. Beef. What's for dinner? Beef is the meat of domesticated cattle. Most of the beef in America come from the steers, which are male cattle castrated as calves and specifically raised for beef. All of Americans are consuming less beef today than we once did. We still consume far more beef than any other meat. The beef we are eating, it's leaner than than that of years past, thanks to advances in animal husbandry and the closer trimming of the exterior fat. Cattle ranchers are rediscovering older breeds of livestock and new ways to fabricate beef, bringing excitement to the assortments of beef products available for chefs and consumers. You're going to come across beef again in farm to table class. Primal and subprimal cuts of beef. After the steer slaughter, it is cut into 4 pieces called the quarters for easy handling. This is done by first splitting the carcass down the backbone into the bilateral halves. Each half is divided into the forequarter, not the front portion, the front portion and the hind quarter, the rear portion. But cutting along natural curvature between the 12 and the 13 rib. And it's almost the same anatomy as the pork. The quarter carcass then further reduced into the primal cuts and subprimal and fabricated cuts. The primal cuts of the beef are chuck, brisket, and shank. And I'm going to show you what those look like. Ribs, short plate, short loin, sirloin, flank, and round. It is important to know the location of the bones when cutting from working with meats. This makes meat fabrication and carving easier and aids in identifying the cuts. Forequarter, or the chuck, forequarter, the front. Primal chuck is animal's shoulder. It accounts for approximately 28% of the carcass weight. Contains a portion of the backbone, 5 rib bones, and a portion of the blade and arm bones. Because the animal constantly uses its shoulder muscles, chuck contains high percentage of connective tissue and is quite tough. This tough cut of beef, however, is one most flavorful, used for roasting, Yankee pot roast, even ground beef. Okay. The primal chuck is used less frequently than other primal cuts, food and service operations. It's cooked whole. The chuck is difficult to cover carb because the large number of bones, relatively small muscle groups, that travel in different directions. The primal chuck produces several fabricated cuts: cross rib pot roast, short ribs, cube with tenderized steaks, stew meat, and ground chuck. Because the meat is less tender, the fabricated cuts usually benefit from moist heat cooking or combination of cooking methods such as stewing or braising. There are exceptions, however. The beef industry is developing new products from undersized cuts of meat. Flatiron comes from the top of the top. Should also be chuck as one of the gaining popularity in its alternative steak, stable for dry heat cooking. Flatiron is nice and delicious and tender. Not a lot of fat, okay? Here's a beef chuck, okay? You see that at the store most of the times. Costco, Sam's, H-E-B, Walmart, okay? It's from the shoulder, the beef chuck. The one at the bottom of the cow here has the bone in it, has the bone attached. You see it in little styrofoam packages, middle top here at the store, chuck, even out here on the side, okay? This is great for a beef bourguignon. It is great for a pot roast, not so great for just grilling steaks, okay? Maybe you cut it very thinly, carne asada, that sort of thing, okay? Beef chuck from the shoulder, okay? Brisket and shank. The brisket and shank are located beneath the primal chuck in the front half of the carcass. Together, they form a single primal that accounts for approximately 8% of the carcass weight. Primal consists of a steer's breast, which contains the ribs and the breastbone, and its arm, which contains only the shank bone. The ribs and breastbone are always removed from the brisket before cooking. The boneless brisket is very tough and contains a substantial percentage of fat, both intermuscular and subcutaneous. It is well suited for moist heat and combination cooking methods such as simmering or braising. It is often pickled or corned to produce corned beef brisket or cured for pepper to make pastrami. Okay, the brisket is what we use for corned beef. It is brined, it is cooked, and it is delicious. Nice little Reuben sandwich with rye bread, Thousand Island dressing, sauerkraut, and Swiss cheese. OMG, the fuck. Okay. Beef for shanks is very flavorful and high in collagen because collagen converts into gelatin when cooked using moist heat. Forshanks are excellent for making soups or stocks. Ground shank meat is something used to help clarify and flavor consommes because it's rich flavor and high in collagen content. Marrow, the soft tissue at the center of the foreshank and hind shank bones, considered delicacy when cooked and added to the sausage and spread on toast. Ossobuco, using veal, has bone marrow in it. If you ever see ossobuco on the menu, they especially has specialty forks to dig out the bone marrow and put it on toast and eat it. It is so delicious, like eating butter. Okay, delicious bone marrow.
Hey, Chef, is that the meat that is used for ropa vieja?
No.
No, which one is that?
The skirt steak.
Oh, skirt steak.
So here's a brisket. Okay, here's a brisket. This is what it looks like here in the top left-hand corner, okay? That's the cryovac sealed brisket. Here, the next one is out of the packaging, okay? And this one here is a cross-cut brisket. The brisket has two caps, one going one way and one going the other way, okay? So it's kind of, if you know your brisket, you know way around brisket, when you smoke it, you remove the top half first and then slice it against the grain, okay? Because the bottom half, the grains go in a different position. So you gotta remove it and then slice it because you cannot slice the whole thing this way, the cap, the top on and the bottom on, because otherwise you'll have a chewy smoked brisket. Okay. So the brisket comes from the below the chuck by the front quarter, right above the shank. The shank here, this is the cross-cut shank, is what we use for the ossobuco. And here in the middle of the bone is the bone marrow. Okay. We typically use veal for ossobuco, but even turkey or pork can be utilized for ossobuco. And the bone marrow is delicious. Dig it out with a specialty fork and put it on some toast. Man, oh man. Yeah. And here's the shank. This is the shank. It can be used for ground meat. You can braise it, and you can do it like a roast, okay? A braised item. Delicious. A lot of fat, a lot of muscle, a lot of flavor. Okay. The rib, the primal beef rib accounts for approximately 10% of the carcass weight, consists of ribs 6 through 12, as well as a portion of the backbone. This primal best is known for yielding roast prime rib beef. Prime rib is not named after the quality grade USD prime. Rather, its name is a reflection of the fact that it constitutes the majority of the primal cut. The eye meat or the rib is not well exercised muscle and therefore is quite tender. It also contains a large amount of marbling compared to the rest of the carcass and produces rich, full flavor roast in steaks. Prime rib, ribeye steak, okay? Although roasting the eye of the meat, the muscles, the rib bones produces moisture roast. The eye meat can be removed to produce the boneless ribeye roast or cut into ribeye steaks. The rib bones that are separated from the ribeye meat are quite meaty and flavorful. It can be served as barbecue beef ribs or short ribs too. You ever heard of the on the menu? You ever seen the menu? Dr. Pepper short braised ribs. Oh man, oh man. I gave up soda back in 2002, but Dr. Pepper braised short ribs are delicious. So tender. Oh man. Anyways, they're meaty and they're often served as braised beef short ribs. Like I said, Dr. Pepper braised short ribs are to die for, man. It's to die for. Okay.
Chef, I have a question.
Sure.
Will we learn how to cut like a beef like this?
In Farm to Table, you will. In this class, if you were the hybrid, I will bring out a strip loin and show you how to clean that strip loin and cut steaks out of it. In Farm to Table, I hope when you guys go back, we're looking into, if you guys go on the hybrid, possibly 4 days a week, Monday being lecture, you are going to have a chance to break down a whole side of pig. Not a beef, but a pig. And it's quite an experience to be able to have that animal in front of you, okay? And again, psychologically detach yourself that it's, was a living being and look at it and fabricate it. And it's such an awesome experience to fabricate that animal, okay? But these are the ribs, okay? On the top left is the bone-in ribeye, and the rib has been cut off. See that at the top? If you have the rib, it'll be extended about maybe another 10, 15 inches long on top of that, and you cut it, you cut the rib right vertically, and you have what we call the work love, okay, or the tomahawk steak. It's about a 48-ounce piece of steak with the bone attached. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour to cook medium rare. Okay, but if you remove the ribs, here are the ribs. Okay, this is the ribs back here, and this is the smoked beef rib, what the guy is holding in his hand. And you see here is the nice pink smoke ring around the rib. That is being properly smoked on the smoking pit. The bottom here is the braised short ribs. Like I said, guys, Dr. Pepper braised short ribs. Oh man, oh man. Oh, delicious, okay? Short plate. The short plate is located directly below the primal rib on the side of the beef, and it accounts for approximately 9% of the overall weight in carcass. The short plate contains rib bones and a cartilage and produces the short ribs and skirt steak. Short ribs are meaty, yet very high in connective tissue, and the best when braised. Skirt steak, which is the animal's diaphragm muscle, it is often marinated and grilled as fajitas. We use that for ropa vieja, okay? Skirt steak, remember that, is the animal's diaphragm muscle for fajitas, okay? Other less meaty portions are the short plate and trim, they're trimmed to the ground, okay? So this is the short plate, and this right here is what we call, when we get the skirt steak at the bottom by the belly, okay? The short plate, again, very nice and tender, and you can use a braising technique and cook them in the oven for a long time until nice and soft and tender, okay? Speaking of fajitas, besides the skirt steak, what other kind of cut of meat can you use for fajitas besides skirt steak? Anybody?
Chicken?
The flank.
Well, chicken can be used for fajitas too, but cut of meat, okay? Flank is one of them, okay? We'll get to the next one. Hind quarter, short loin, okay? The short loin is the anterior front portion of the beef loin. It is located just behind the rib and it becomes the first primal cut of the hind quarter. When the side of beef is divided into a forequarter, it accounts for approximately 8% of the carcass weight. Short loin contains the single rib, the 13th, and a portion of the backbone. With careful butchering, this primal cut can yield several subprimal and fabricated cuts, all with among the most tender, popular, and expensive cuts of beef. The loin eye muscle and the continuation of the rib eye muscle runs along the top T-shaped bones that are from the backbone. Beneath the loin, eye muscle on the other side of the backbone is the tenderloin, the most tender cut of all. It is the most expensive. It goes about $17 a pound, just about. Okay. When the short loin is cut across sections of the bone end, it produces standard with the rib end of the short loin. Club steaks do not contain any tenderloin. T-bone steaks, which contain only about a small portion of tenderloin. Porterhouse steaks, with a cut from the same sirloin, and the short loin contains a larger portion of tenderloin. On your inventory sheets that I emailed you guys, there is tenderloin, there is ribeye on those inventory sheets. Okay, they come in 12 tenderloins per case, and I forget what the weight is, but I know it's like about $15, $17 a pound. Okay, and they're 15 pounds and up. Okay, just FYI, they're in there. The whole tenderloin can also be removed and cut into a Chateaubriand. Okay, so you have the whole tenderloin. Okay, again, it's a long strip, and it has a head, and it's got two flaps like butterfly, and the tail end. Okay, the head, you can, once you clean it, cut the head off. It can be used for a Chateaubriand. Chateaubriand is one of those old school dishes that is about, I would say, it's about maybe 3 pounds, 2 or 3 pounds in weight. You grill it, cook it nice and medium rare, serve it in a little bronze little skillet with maybe some watercress, side of demi-glace or béarnaise sauce, some potatoes. The server takes it out in the fine dining restaurant, a little garridon with a cutting board and a knife and a fork, and serves the plate on the customers with all the equipment, and then slices that Chateaubriand in front of them and then serves them on the plate. Okay, that is old school Chateaubriand, but they use the head. The center cut is what we call the filet mignon. The tail end of the tenderloin is what we call medallions, or we use the tips to use stir fry beef for beef stir fry. Okay, so the whole tenderloin can also be removed into Chateaubriand, filet mignon, and tornadoes, also medallions, tornadoes of beef. Okay, they're about 3 ounces each. Portion of the tenderloin is located in the sirloin portion of the loin, with the entire beef is divided into the primal short loin and its prime sirloin. The large end of the tenderloin, the butt tenderloin, is separated from the remainder of the tenderloin and remains the sirloin. Also, the tenderloin, guys, is another old school dish called beef Wellington. Okay, you make a duxelle with mushrooms, shallots, reduce shallots and red wine, add the mushrooms, then finally chop, take it out, cool it down, and fold in some duck goose pate. You have your puff pastry at the bottom. You smear that duck goose pate on it. You grab the nice clean tenderloin, the whole thing, remove all the silver skin, grill it or sear it, and put it on top of the duxelle, and then wrap that beef in puff pastry, turn it upside down so the seam is on the bottom, fold it in, egg white, pop it in the oven. Okay, and it comes out, the puff pastry is nice and golden brown. The tenderloin in the middle is medium rare or rare. You slice it, so it's like this, and the outside is a puff pastry with a little side of duxelle, and the beef tenderloin is inside. Oh man, it's an old school dish. It is delicious. It is
Miguel,
yes, sir.
Do you know Chef Scott? I can't remember his last name.
From school, yes.
Yeah, he made a beef Wellington for his family. Do you have a recipe for that?
The recipe, I'll have to look about my duxelle, but it's basically shallots, mushrooms, and a duck goose pate. Okay, that's a duxelle. And then you got a puff pastry you can either make by yourself, or you can go buy at the store in the frozen section. Pepperidge Farm has an awesome product. You can even have it in little squares. And all the rest is, again, the duxelle, like I just described, the puff pastry, and the beef tenderloin. If you cut a medallions, you can sear, grill it, put it in a little square, and then wrap it individually, and then bake it up in the oven. And it's not that hard, but it's labor intense. Okay, it is an old school dish from the 70s and 80s, and even up to the 90s. And it's a classic one. Okay. So beef Wellington, one of my co-workers back in California couldn't pronounce it. He used to call it beef Wilmington. I'm like, no, Wilmington is over there by Carson Dominguez, close to San Pedro. Anyways, beef Wellington, okay? Here we go, okay? This is the hindquarter, okay? The hindquarter, okay? So this is the hindquarter, okay? So the hindquarter, you get the round steaks, sirloin steaks, porterhouse, T-bones. The porterhouse and T-bones, they have a part of the sirloin or the strip loin attached with the tenderloin. So you got the bone T section on one side of the strip loin, one side is the tenderloin. Okay. Sirloin top rounds, boneless rump, cube steaks, flank steak. Okay, when Derek was talking about fajitas flank steak, and then the ground beef. Okay. Also, in big weddings or big events, holiday, Christmas, people buy this the hind leg. It looks like a big old piece of giant ham right here. Okay. We used to charge $350 for that leg, nice and roasted. So when it's roasted, it looks like this, but it's humongous. You gotta have the right oven space and the time to roast it to medium rare.
Is that the steamship round?
Bingo, is when you get to that next. Okay.
Every time I cater, I do one of them, and boy, the people go nuts over it.
So it is the hind leg. It looks like a giant ham with the bone attached.
Fabulous.
The bone attached, and it's all this meat. So you take it out and carve it table side. We used to charge $350 for this piece of beef. And like Chef Paulo said, it's called a steamship round because the top is supposed to resemble the smokestack out of a steamship. And it's humongous, it's big. It's about 30 to 50 pounds in weight. So it takes a long time to roast in the oven. But here, as you see the bottom right side picture, you gotta have the proper technique. You gotta know how to slice it and to serve it with the grilled veggies on the side, okay? And people love it, like Chef Pablo said. Wedding packages, when I used to do, again, I used to charge $350 for the steamship, and I used to charge an additional $50 for the carver to go out and carve it in front of you, okay? And the cook used to get $50 on his paycheck extra, okay? So steamship round from the hind leg, okay? It's expensive. You got money, you want to showcase it, go for it. And whatever came back, I used to pull the meat off, make some tacos, and take that bone and make stock out of it. Make soups out of that too. Like I said, nothing goes to waste, guys. Nothing goes to waste, okay? Sirloin. Sirloin is located in the hindquarter between the short loin and the round. It accounts for approximately 7% of the carcass weight, contains part of the backbone as well as a portion of the hip bone. Sirloin produces bone-in or boneless roast and steak that are flavorful and tender, with the expectation that tenderloin portion, however, these subprimal and fabricated cuts are not as tender to those from the strip loin. Cuts from the sirloin are cooked using the dry heat method, using as broiling, grilling, or roasting. Sirloin, strip loin, New York strip, Kansas City strip steak, Delmonico steak, okay? Sirloin, okay? This is the sirloin, okay? Top sirloin or the sirloin. The sirloin is where you get the New York strip steak, okay? Back here from the back of the cow, okay? The one here on the wooden cutting board, that's a sirloin. The ones on the right-hand side, left-hand side, are the top sirloin, which is a little more tougher than the sirloin, okay? The sirloin is expensive. It's about 15 pounds and up, and it can go between $8 to $14 a pound. Sam's and Costco carry the whole strip loin or sirloin, okay? It is delicious. Like, you like New York strip steaks, you like Delmonico's, you like Kansas City strip steak, they're the same kind of cut, okay? Flank steak, right, Mr. Lyric? This is what you can use for your fajitas. If you don't have any skirt steak, flank steak will suffice, but it's a little more expensive than skirt steak. Okay, flank, located directly beneath the loin, posterior of the short plate. It accounts for approximately 6% of the carcass weight. The flank contains no bones. Although quite flavorful, it is less tender cut with a good deal of fat and connected tissue. Flank meat is usually trimmed and ground, with the exception of a flank steak, a London broil. London broil is a traditional grilled flank steak sliced very thinly with a mushroom sauce on top. I hate to be cut into ground, man. That's a waste of that beef. One cut appears between the flank and the plate near the kidneys. The hanging tendon is a pair of lean V-shaped muscles that appear to hang from the diaphragm, skirt steak. So you can buy the hanger steak and serve it as that on the menu. Each steak weighs about 8 to 12 ounces. This hanger steak, also known as bistro steak or butcher steak, is highly flavorful and gaining popularity. Benefits from being marinated, and it should be seared, grilled, or broiled, rare to medium rare. Then sliced in the bias for service. So a lot of restaurants will have on the menu hanger steak. Okay, they cannot afford to strip loin. At tenderloin, they'll have hanger steak on the menu. Okay, so this is how the flank steak looks like. Okay, it's right here from the belly. The flank steak is on the top left, okay? On the top left, and the bottom left. Okay? The top left is already all the fat removed. It doesn't have a lot of fat. The bottom left is where they have the fat in it, some of the silver skin. Okay. The picture with asparagus, if you slice it thinly with the mushroom sauce, becomes London broil. Okay, London broil. But the flanks needs to be cut thinly against the grain, otherwise it'll be extra chewy. You can also butterfly it, like you see here in the middle section. Butterfly it, stuff it, and roll it, and roast it in the oven. So you have a nice roulade of flank steak. Okay. So flank steak can be marinated and butterflied, marinated and grilled, used for fajitas. Okay.
Question, chef.
Answer.
So when you butterfly, you take the whole thing and cut it in half, and then you stuff it with your fillings and re-roll it.
Roll it, and then tie and roast it. You can do yes, you can do a flank steak, Florentine, mushrooms and spinach and cheese. Yes, Maru.
Chef, I'm sorry to ask you so much. Is that the one you use for Cuban uses boliche or no?
No. So different.
No, which one is that, Chef? What meat is that?
I'll take a look at it and I'll give you an answer in a few minutes. But
Thank you, Chef.
This is flank steak. It's a little more expensive. That's why, and you don't get a lot of it. You get a lot more in the skirt steak. So flank steak's more expensive. And if you have a high-end restaurant that serves fajita, probably using flank steak to charge a little bit more than skirt steak. Okay. I love flank steak. Oh man. Some tacos with flank steak, delicious. Okay.
Love it too. Oh God.
So, chef, you would say that flank steak, you should marinate it before you cook it?
Oh yes.
I would, because it's a little bit tougher, and you got to cut it against the grain.
That's what I've been finding, because when I cook it, my husband says it's tough.
It is, because it's you got to cut it against the grain very thinly to be able to chew it.
Okay.
Round. The primal round is very large, weighing about 200 pounds and accounting for approximately 24% of the carcass weight. It is the high leg of the animal and contains the round, egg shank, and tailbones. Meat from the round is flavorful and very tender. The round yields a wide variety of subprimal and fabricated cuts. Top round outside the eye round, knuckle and shank. Steak cuts from the round are less tender, but because they have a large muscles and limited intermuscular fat, the top round and knuckle makes good roast. The bottom round is best when braised. The hind shank is prepared the same fashion as before the shank. I remember once I smoked the top round. Oh man, it took forever, but it was so tender. Covered in front of a customer, they were like drooling over the top round. It smoked for about 12 hours. Man, it was tender. Here's the beef round from the hind. Remember, this is the steamship part. Okay, when you fabricate it, this is the top round. The bottom round is from the inside. Okay, and the bone attached. Okay. Here's the eye round, nicely trussed. You can also butterfly this one and then stuff it and roll it, or you can leave it like the pork tenderloin, nice and long. Okay. You also have it on a nice steak in the store. And here, if you tie it, truss it, sear it, you can have a nice little sliced roast beef, served table side. Okay, carve it. Or you can do it like with an Asian cooking with a little bit of soy sauce, hoisin sauce, nice and tender, and slice it thinly. Okay. But it's a muscle meat, so it's got to cook for quite a while. Okay. Before we go into the menu, let me show you how to fabricate that beef. Go back. Where is it? There you go. All right, Grandma, get down. Come on.
Every day in the hospitality,
Really?
you guys have a chance to touch people's lives in a really important way. To allow them to cut.
You go from the beginning, okay?
Hi, I'm John Stoll with Dolan Bailey, Director of Fresh Meats and Sustainable Programs. And now we're going to break this fourth quarter into individual cuts. We're going to start with the rib. We're going to pull the rib off. And Ryan LaRock our production manager is going to be doing that. And so he's going to make a cut down along here and then pull this rib off at that point. So go ahead, Ryan. Right now he's pulling off the outside skirt.
Skirt steak, fajitas.
That's a really nice piece of meat for grilled. Once it's cleaned off once you clean off the fat and skin, makes a really nice steakable cut. He's going to count down the number of ribs. 7. And this is a primal rib, something you probably don't see in the supermarket, because we're gonna break it down and take some of the cat meat and cut these down and pull the bones off. We'll make a boneless ribeye, which you'll see a boneless ribeye roast for steaks. What's left here on the carcass is the chuck on this particular portion. So as he breaks this rest of it down, this is going to be the chuck, which we're going to break down into some other cuts as well. Now he's going to pull some cuts out of the shoulder. We're going to make a clawed heart out of the shoulder. So he's just kind of cutting right along the blade bone and pulling that arm off. This is the shoulder clawed that he's going to pull off. Teres major, that's a relatively new cut, something that a lot of people haven't seen. It's a very tender piece of meat, can be used for steaks. Cut the whole thing and make it a steak. It's very tender, has a lot of flavor. Sometimes called a petite tender or shoulder tender. I'm going to pull the brisket off, but just following the outline of that heavy muscle there. Then he's going to go right down that backbone.
There's a brisket.
That's the whole brisket, and it'll be cleaned up into what you're used to seeing in the store. This is the sternum. All right, he's just pulling some cat meat off. Just to clean it up. Most of it's going to be for lean trim for ground beef. And what he's pulling off now is what we call a corner piece. It's a rib, short rib. The meatiest part of the short rib pieces. This is the rib side. This is the chuck side. So there's a chuck short rib and a rib short rib. The rib has more meat on it. This particular muscle along here is the key. The thicker it is, the more meaty the short rib. And on the chuck side, it tends to be a little thinner. So we typically just use that mostly for grinding, but we'll pull some of that off and use for short rib as well. The boneless short rib piece will come off as a corner of that. And most of the rest of these pieces he's pulling off, he's just going to pull off some trim for grinding. We're going to start breaking apart the hind quarter. And they're just going to pull some cuts off. They're going to go more into grind for trim, just so he can get to the cuts he wants. The first thing he's going to pull off is the flank, and that's kind of the area that he's working on now. What he's got there is the rough flank. There's a lot of this is the flank that
So the flank is not that big; it's small. So here it is, the flank right here, and that's why it's a little bit more expensive to be used for fajitas. London broiled is perfectly. That's what I say. It kind of hurts my feelings when they say this about you can grind the flank steak.
You're used to seeing, he's going to clean the rest of that up, and that's what we'll wind up with. As you can imagine, the key to this process is having a sharp knife and keeping it sharp.
Stop being stupid. Let's
What's
go.
called the kidney fat that he just pulled off there. Now it exposes here the tenderloin.
Fuck you up.
That's your tenderloin right here. Okay.
Shit.
Which is the most tender muscle in the animal. Now he's separating the sirloin from the round. Now he's going to be pulling the tenderloin off of the edge of the spine. So that is the rough.
And that's what it looks like when it's not clean. That's got a lot of fat in it. You don't buy it like that from the purveyor, Cisco, Benekid. They don't sell all this fat on it. And again, it's about 15 pounds or more in weight, and it's a long strip. Okay.
Tenderloin that he'll clean up and be more recognizable when he's done. But that's the most expensive and the most tender muscle on the end. That's what you make the filet mignon. Next thing he's going to pull off is the strip loin, which you use to make New York strip steaks. And that's the strip loin, the bone-in strip loin.
Delicious.
You're going to be pulling off the top sirloin butt. Typically, you see those in the store as sirloin steaks, top sirloin steaks, top sirloin fillet, sometimes it's called. It's a tender piece of meat. It's not as tender as the strip or the tenderloin. It has a lot more flavor, has a little bit more bite to it, but it's a little tougher as it comes to a part of the animal that moves around more. And there's the top sirloin. Now what's left here is a round. Sometimes you've seen that you go to hotels and functions, you see what's called a steamship round, where they just trim this down a little bit to where they can hang on to it and then carve this off. Sometimes you'll see that at a hotel or a part of your function. We're actually going to break it down into some other individual cuts. But if you got a really big oven, you could cook this whole thing and make a steamship round out of it. Okay, the first part he's going to pull off is a peeled knuckle, which is the other half of the muscle of the top sirloin. Probably one of the more tender muscles of the round, but there's a lot of connective tissue and heavy muscles in it. It's really best to be roasted or braised. And there it is. So the cuts that are left that he's going to be pulling off is the bottom round flat and the eye around. Again, mostly roasting cuts, different sizes. And the top round. The top round is you can actually cut some steaks off of the top round. They're a little tougher. Best to be used for like a London broil. You can cut them across the grain and make strips that you could make a London broil out of. That's a pretty common use for the top round. And again, if you see a deli roast beef in the supermarkets, usually they use the top round, roast that off, and then slice it thin for the deli sandwich stuff. And there it is. What we're left with is the shank, which is really great tasting meat. It just needs to be slow cooked and really taken care of for a long time. But we cut it into strips. He's pulling the heel meat off, which we'll just use for our ground beef trim. Okay, so that's pretty much how we break it into the major sub-primers. So that's pretty much the whole carcass, start to finish.
And that's where your cuts meat come from. And again, that's the whole leg. That's where the steamship comes around. And again, the steamship, you got to cook it for a long time in the ovens. Okay. And it's delicious. Man, it's so good. Okay. Let's talk about your menu for Friday. Friday. You got seasonal mixed green salad, entrecôte à la béarnaise, entrecôte steak. You can buy a flat iron steak. You can buy a ribeye steak. You can buy a New York strip steak. Just be frugal of what kind of steak you buy. Those three are perfectly excellent for this day. Don't buy a flank steak. It's too tough and stringy. Don't buy a skirt steak. It's too much fat. You're going to make pommes de terre Anna. That's your starch. And the potatoes. Okay. You're going to make béarnaise. So let me give you a little history of béarnaise. Okay. Béarnaise sauce. Have you guys ever made hollandaise before? Anybody?
No, chef.
Okay. I'm going to give you a demo on Friday how to make hollandaise. Okay. For that one, that's the one you are going to need your stainless steel bowl and a whisk. Okay. That's the one sauce. Not a plastic one, not a Pyrex or glass one, not a ceramic one. You need a stainless steel bowl, and I'm going to show you how to do it on the stovetop, straight on the fire. Okay. You can do it on the double boiler. I got a little bit to show you what hollandaise is all about. But double boiler will take a longer time to make. On the stainless steel bowl on the burner, it takes you less than 5 minutes. It's like making mayonnaise. Okay. So béarnaise sauce, it's one of the mother sauces. For that one, you can make different kinds. You can make Charon, you can make mousseline, you can make all kinds of sauces. It's a sauce made with clarified butter emulsified with egg yolks. Remember mayonnaise, egg yolks, water, lemon juice, salt, right? This one is egg yolks, clarified butter, lemon juice, and a little bit of water and salt. That's it. Okay, but it's emulsification. Okay, and white wine vinegar. No, we're not going to use white wine vinegar. Flavored with herbs. So we're going to make the reduction separate. You're going to reduce red wine, which you're going to use tomorrow, with a little bit of shallots and tarragon. Reduce them. Once you make your hollandaise, you're going to fold this reduction to your hollandaise. That makes Béarnaise sauce. It is considered to be the child of the mother hollandaise sauce, one of the 5 mother sauces of the French haute cuisine repertoire. Difference is only the flavoring. Béarnaise uses shallots, chervil, and peppercorns, and tarragon. No, we're only going to use tarragon, shallots, and red wine. Okay. And the reduction of vinegar and wine, while the hollandaise is more stripped down, using a reduction of lemon juice, white wine. One means to prepare in Béarnaise. See it below. So I'm going to show you a demo on Friday how to make hollandaise. Okay. In appearance, it is light yellow and opaque, smooth and creamy. Béarnaise traditional sauce for steak. The sauce was accidentally invented by chef Jean-Louis Francois, the accidental inventor of pulled potatoes, pommes soufflés, and served in 1836, opening in the Pavilion Henry IV in a restaurant in Saint-Germain-en-Laye, not far from Paris. This assumption is supported by the fact that the restaurant was either the former residence of Henry IV of France, and Gourmet himself was from Beam, a former province of the Department of Pyrénées-Atlantiques, southwestern France. So hollandaise is a mother sauce. We're going to be making it Friday. Okay. So a little bit of the hollandaise. Come on. Okay. So let me pop in another show. Give you, I guess, a little sneak peek at hollandaise. But I will show you a demo how to make hollandaise at home on Friday. Okay. No, that's not it. Let me go back. Come on.
We let it sit.
So let me pop in a little video of hollandaise, and we'll show you guys how to make pommes de terre Anna, or Anna potatoes, okay? Hollandaise, easy to make, easy to screw up, okay? If you break it, you can save it. Don't throw it away.
How do you get such a light and fluffy sauce out of egg yolks and butter? Well, that's the secret of hollandaise. What we're going to do is to beat air into the egg yolks and then add the butter. And that air is what makes
She's using a double boiler. We're not going to use a double boiler. We're going to go straight in the fire, okay?
it light and fluffy. The trick is how to cook the egg yolks without scrambling them. In this video, I'll show you how. First, we're going to start with clarifying the butter. Butter is made of 3 components. It has butter fat, which is the yellow part, milk solids, which are white, and a little bit of water. So in clarifying them, we're separating out the milk solids from the butter.
So when you clarify, you're going to melt the butter in a stovetop, very low to medium heat, not overboil it, okay? And when it separates like that, you're going to remove the solids from the top and remove the yellow liquid. Do not mix the bottom part, okay? Just the yellow liquid. That's clarified butter, also known in Indian cuisine as ghee, G-H-E-E, okay?
And that gives you more control over the final sauce. So here you can see we have some milk solids at the top, which we want to skim off with a spoon. We let it sit for a few minutes after melting it so that most of the white solids go to the bottom. All right, so now we've got almost all of these in here. So now we're going to pour this into the measuring cup. And what we want to do is leave behind whatever water and milk solids are left. You see, you can start to see them now. Pouring off as much of the butter fat as we can. Sometimes if you go back and forth, it helps a little. And then leaving behind the white milk solids and some water. Now we're going to work with the egg yolks. And we're going to cook them over fairly simmering water.
3 egg yolks on the bowl, teaspoon of lemon juice, pinch of salt, 2 tablespoons of cold water. That is recipe for hollandaise. Write it down, okay? 3 egg yolks, teaspoon of lemon juice, pinch of salt, 2 tablespoons of cold water in a stainless steel bowl. That is going to be your your ingredients for the hollandaise, okay?
Water, or even if it's under simmering, just hot water. So we can really control the amount of heat coming to our egg yolks so we can cook them without scrambling. A tablespoon of lemon juice will add flavor. The amount of water you use depends on what you want your finished sauce to be like. The more water you have, the more pourable the sauce will be. You can add as little as a teaspoon, but we're adding 2 tablespoons. And we'll add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt,
Pinch is fine.
which also helps the emulsion. So now we're going to move over to the water, which is barely simmering.
That's,
Now we're going to whisk the egg yolks.
that's the safest way to make hollandaise on the double boiler. But if you guys had a hard time and your arm was falling off your arm socket making mayonnaise, your arm is definitely going to fall off during this method. I'm going to show you a different method, quicker, less than 5 minutes, okay? You can do it this way if you want to be safe and not make scrambled eggs, but it's going to take a long time and your arm is going to be like, oh man, it's about to fall off. Just like if you do a leg day at the gym, your legs feel like noodles, your arm's going to feel like noodles too.
You see that right now it's very loose, but you see the bubbles that are starting.
So when you whisk it, that's what you're looking for, to be nice and frothy and foamy.
To happen. That's the air that I'm whisking into the egg yolks. As the egg yolks thicken, they will trap those air bubbles and set up a really nice base for adding the butter. So it's starting to get thicker and fluffier. And soon I'll be able to start to see the streaks of the whisk at the bottom. And that's what I'm looking for. Then I know I'm ready for the next step, which is adding the butter. And every now and then you can scrape down the sides to make sure you get everything in the bowl and there's no egg yolk around the edge to overcook. Okay, I think we're good now. I can just start to see streaks at the bottom and we're ready to move on to the next step. So we're going to take the bowl off the heat and put it on another pan with a cloth on it just to hold it easily in place. But we're finished applying heat.
So you're not chasing the bowl around on your table. That makes will make it stable. And just like the mayonnaise, you're going to drizzle the clever butter slowly as you're whisking it.
Now we're just going to add the butter slowly so it emulsifies with the egg yolks. If you go too fast, it can break. And if you put more butter than it can handle, it can also break. But this is a good amount of butter to add. You shouldn't have any problem. Want to keep this nice emulsification that we have going. If you add the butter too quickly, hollandaise will break, but never fear, you can fix it. Whisk in a little cold water. I'm starting with just a teaspoon, but you can add up to 2 tablespoons. Whisk it in small circles until you see a little pool of re-emulsified sauce. Now whisk larger circles to bring in the broken sauce and re-emulsify it with the sauce in the center. Once it's fixed, you can continue whisking in the rest of the butter. Okay. We've added all our butter. Then at the end, for a little extra lemon flavor, we'll add the lemon zest.
You don't have to.
So now we have our hollandaise sauce. Now I'll pour it into a little pitcher to serve. And you see it's lovely, light, and lemony. Just what you want.
That's hollandaise sauce. To make it a béarnaise, you use 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh tarragon, a teaspoon of minced shallots, 1/4 cup of red wine. Reduce it until they're almost dry. Set it aside, and you're going to fold that into your hollandaise. That is béarnaise sauce. Okay, béarnaise, 2 tablespoons of finely chopped fresh tarragon, teaspoon of minced shallots, 1/4 cup of red wine. Reduce until almost dry, and then fold that into your hollandaise. Now you got béarnaise sauce. That yellow color is going to turn like light purple. That's because of the red wine tannins that are in the red wine. Okay, that's béarnaise. Perfect for steak. Excellent for steak. Okay. Easy does it. Easy sauce to make. Easy to screw up, guys. If you screw it up, it's okay. That's what we're here. Foundations. Okay. That's holidays. Yes.
The way you're going to be doing it, is it okay if we do it on a electric stovetop?
Yeah, you can be electric stovetop. You might want to do it on a double boiler because if you have electric stovetop, because the heat is going to be so intense, you're going to probably make scrambled eggs. So you might want to do it on like double boiler, like she did. Okay. Mixed green salad. Okay. These are kind of it's just a samples of how we're looking for your mixed green salad to be. Okay. If you're going to make a nice little bowl of mixed green salad, top left is the bowl of mixed green salad with beautiful knife cuts. The tomatoes, cucumbers, and the onions, okay, very, very thinly. Okay. Bottom of that is you have your tomato, nicely sliced, thinly sliced wedges, maybe some julienne apples, some radicchio or cabbage, on some lettuce, stand on the plate with height. Or if you want to go the extra mile, okay, take a look at the other presentations. Okay. The middle one, let me see if I can zoom in. Okay. Here we go, middle top. Okay. With the edible flour here on the side. Thinly sliced radish, thinly sliced cucumber, mixed greens, tons of vinaigrette, nice side of tomatoes here, but it's center of the plate with height. It's built in. If you want to go the other side with a little bouquet of mixed greens, you can buy an English cucumber, slice it very thinly, the long way, okay? Lay it flat on your table, grab your mixed greens, arrange them into a little bouquet, put them in your sliced cucumber, and then roll them, and then pick it up to keep your mixed greens like in a little tight bundle of bouquet of flowers, okay? And then maybe cut the base off so it'll be nice and stable, okay? And then sit out in the middle of your plate. That little crispy thing on top is shredded Parmesan cheese that'll be put in a sheet tray with parchment paper or a silk pad, and then it's baked in the oven till it's golden brown. It melts, and when you take it out, it hardens. It becomes a Parmesan crisp. You can use that as garnish on your salad. And then you see here some a golden radish, rainbow radish, and a cucumber on the side with a vinaigrette drizzle on the side. That is a bouquet of salad. That is very popular in banquet events and in large hotels. We used to do that a lot in Lakeway, Embassy Suites, and all over the place. Okay, because again, salad is very simple ingredients. It doesn't cost a lot, but it's how you present it, how you plate it. Again, we don't want to see rabbit food, so don't give me a bowl of mixed greens with big old chunks of this or big old chunks of that, and I'll explain that in a minute. Okay. Next one is the one on the bottom here. If you want to go to a tomato, you can utilize a tomato too. Okay, but maybe you want to concassate it. You're going to use a Roma tomato. Okay, cut the concassate it, take it out, peel the skin off, cut the bottom off, the top off, and hollow it out and use it instead of a cucumber to put your mixed greens inside. Now you got a nice concassate tomato with no skin, and then, all your mixed greens are inside, and it's nice and tall on your plate. Okay. Here on the right hand side, okay, another way of doing the little bouquet of salad, but instead of standing up, is lying down. Okay, the cucumber is wrapped around the lettuce, but it's on the side. Okay, the little vertical picture that you see here. Okay, the other one on the far right hand side is similar to the one with the Parmesan cheese crisp, but they have some different kind of knife cuts on it. Similar, but a little bit different. Okay. So again, we're looking for a nice gourmet salad, not just chopped lettuce and some awful knife cuts on your plate. We're not feeding a rabbit. We're not feeding a guinea pig, okay? That's your salad. Let me see if I can pop in so you can see a little, so I know Mr. Jeffrey was asking me some ideas of plating up a salad. Here's a little short video on how to plate up a salad, okay? It'll give you a step-by-step. Never mind the guy that's wearing a Band-Aid, okay? I know he cut himself, not wearing a glove either, but disregard that part, okay? So here's a little video. It's about 3 minutes long on how to plate up a nice gourmet salad, okay? Come on, Jake from State Farm. Let's start from the beginning, okay? Here we go. Salad. Any thoughts about the salad?
The burn on the chef's hand.
Like I said, disregard that part.
Green salad that we have to make. Can we put fruit in it or only vegetables?
You can put fruit too. Raspberries, strawberries, whatever you want to add to it, but make sure the components flow with each other and they both complement each other, okay? So again, this is your time to showcase your skills, do some more Google research, figure out how to plate your salad, but we do not want to see rabbit food on the plate. And I'll explain to you guys in a minute why, okay? So salad, okay? And the next one, your béarnaise, your steak, okay? Steak with béarnaise sauce, okay?
I wanted to spell it. Wait a minute.
Can we do like a beet salad?
Entrico, you can do a beet salad. You can do the salad. You can do any kind of salad. Beets, you can do pomegranates, you can do mandarin, you can do orange, you can do kiwi, strawberries, as long as presented beautiful in a plate, okay? The possibilities are endless on a salad. Entrecôte à la béarnaise, your steak, whether you prefer it well done, medium well, cremated, burnt, we'd like to see it medium rare. Medium rare. For presentation. Once you present it, you can go back and finish it however you want to, okay? Because in this industry, if you come across my desk application for a sous chef, I'm gonna drop a steak on your mystery basket for you guys to make, okay? Because anybody can burn a steak, but not anybody can cook a perfect medium rare steak, okay? So the steak has to be medium rare, and you want to slice it and shingle it like that on the top left-hand corner, do so, but let it rest for a few minutes so it's not bleeding on your plate, okay? And the béarnaise, you can either serve it on the side, or you can serve it on the side of a plate, okay? So steak with béarnaise, okay? Next one is Anna potatoes. Pommes de terre Anna, okay? This is your...
Jeff, I'm sorry, I'm leaving. I have to leave for work.
Okay.
So I'll get on my phone.
Cool.
Who was that?
Chelsea.
So pommes de terre Anna, okay, guys? You can even make them the big one in an omelet pan, or you can make it in a little muffin tin, okay? It all depends. Anna potatoes. It has no egg. It has no cream, butter, and maybe some cheese. Very light use of cheese. Pommes de terre Anna potatoes, okay? That's your menu for Monday, okay? Here, I have another one for Anna potatoes, okay? Where you go? It's only a 3-minute video, okay? Bear with me. Anna potatoes will give you an insight how to make Anna potatoes. Here we go. Anna potatoes, guys. So there's no volume, there's nothing in it, okay? You're gonna use your knife to slice them, not a machine, okay? Thinly, round. Heat up your pan with the melted butter. Shingle them, not too far apart, not too tight. You're probably going to use about 2 potatoes if you use a small like saute pan like I did last week for my glazed carrots, okay? If you use a big one, you probably use maybe more than 2 potatoes, okay? Again, not too far apart, not too close together. Round and round they go. Nice and gentle, okay? Salt. Maybe some pepper. Another set of potatoes again. More towards the inside. Okay. A little bit spaced out, not so much, not so tight as the first layer. And again, more in the middle. He's using golden Yukon potatoes. We're going to use russet potatoes, okay? Make sure they're nice and tight toward the middle, not so much spread out on the outside, okay? Some whole butter on top, a couple of cubes. And on the stove top for about maybe 8 minutes, medium heat.
Potato.
Okay. You're gonna cook them to about 8 to 8 minutes. Lastly, brush the lid. Again, they're cooking right now. See how they're bubbling? Okay, they're cooking. You're gonna grab a lid. Okay. You're gonna drain the fat. Okay. Turn the pan over. See how nice and golden they are at the bottom? Slide them back in, nice and gentle. Don't break them apart. And cook them on the other side. Okay. And then again, take them off. Boom. And the potatoes. You gotta take your time with the Santa potatoes on Friday, okay? Let them rest before you can slice them.
Is it Friday or Monday, Chef? Monday, right?
This is Friday. This is this Friday.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And the potatoes. Got it?
And you just put the salad in the middle, Chef?
No, we're gonna do salad because you're gonna serve them as a starch for your steak.
Okay.
Okay.
So why do they have the salad in the middle?
I don't know. That's what they want to do.
I was gonna
Oh,
ask
okay.
that.
Well, I'm just asking.
No clue. We're not gonna do salad. So let me show you something real fun. Again, This is what we don't want. So when you start making your salad, all I can say is do not be ashamed, okay?
Gonna get the nuggets.
Have you got the nugget?
I'm not kidding.
So let me start with this one again, okay? So they're making crab cakes.
I've got 15 minutes to teach him how to make the most amazing crab cake without actually showing him anything. All he's going to be doing is hearing my voice, audio. On a scale of 10, how bad are you?
Pretty bad. I'd say it's 2.
Okay, that's got me more nervous. 15 minutes, your time starts now. Let's go. Okay, first things first, take the crab.
Okay.
Okay, put it flat side down on the board, like this. Just like that.
Got it.
And then get your hands underneath, get your 2 thumbs in place at 6 o'clock, and you push up, and you lift that up. And that's called the purse. Now, from there, take these big legs off.
I think I took them all off, but all right.
Because there's no point in wasting time on little legs. We'll be here all day. Get your cloth. Put your cloth on top. Get the back of your knife and lightly crack the claws. That opens them up. And then look what happens from there. You sort of crack open and then get your finger inside and beautifully slide out this incredible nuggets of crab. Beautiful.
All right, I'm trying to get the nuggets.
Have you got the nuggets?
I'm not getting the nuggets.
Try. Pinch the end here.
They're kind of pinching me.
They're pinching you. Shane, the crab is dead. Did you push hard enough on the knife?
Perhaps not.
Okay, so you've got to give it some welly, as we say in England, please, and crunch.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, you've got crab ready, yes?
Yes, I do.
Thank goodness for that. Right, let's start off with the bell peppers.
Okay, right, so
Top and tail, okay?
all right. What should I do with the crab, Gordon?
And clear off your bench.
Okay.
Shane, if you work nice and tidy, we'll produce a stunning crab cake. If you work, we'll produce them there. Right, top and tail, your bell peppers. And then you take your knife and slice down, slice around. That way we get rid of the bitter part in the center. What we do now is form a beautiful skin side fine rub. So put the skin side down on it. And then from there, chop. Now, the secret of these peppers, make sure it's small dicing, okay?
Okay. What do you consider small, Gordon?
I would say half a centimeter.
I don't know metric.
You don't know metric. Shane, come on, we're on the 21st century.
I'm sorry.
Now, once you finely dice
Yes.
all your bell peppers,
Yes.
lift them up into the bowl for your crab. With me?
Yes, they're in the bowl.
Good. Now, the secret is to make sure that once they cook, they almost disappear. So make sure they're not big.
Okay.
From there, get your crab meat.
Got it.
And flake the crab meat into the peppers. We're going to season the crab meat with salt and pepper. Open at the top of the pepper mill so we get a nice crunch of pepper in there. Salt, and then take your lemon and then zest that into the mixture. Now,
All right. Wait.
spin the lemon round.
Getting my zest here.
Keep up with me, please.
I'm doing my best.
Okay, take a little slice of the top of the lemon and squeeze the juice in there. From there, take an egg. Beat up the egg. Season that as well. Salt, pepper as well.
Sorry, what am I doing with the egg?
So you just put the egg into the bowl.
The whole egg?
The whole egg and your whisk. And then
Wait, I gotta
you
break
add
up
that in.
Wait, and what's it?
In that mixture there, Shane.
Yes.
Okay, stay with me.
Got
A
it.
teaspoon of mustard. And a
Teaspoon.
teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. And then a little touch of cayenne pepper. And then Shane,
Yes.
I just want you to take that and smell the sort of bowl and make sure it smells nice and fragrant.
It does.
And then taste a little bit. Taste the season. We can't season it after we cooked it, so we season it.
Okay. It tastes good. I was a little spicy, to be honest.
That's the idea. When you cook it, we'll lose a bit of the spice. Now,
Okay.
from there, sprinkle your breadcrumbs over the mix.
All of it?
No, lightly sprinkle
Okay.
breadcrumbs over the mix.
Got it.
And what we're trying to do here now is use the breadcrumbs to bring the crab cake together. Take your sheet tray, and then you take your cutter, and you press the crab meat. Secret here,
Yeah.
is to press the crab meat into the cutter. You know we're up against it time-wise.
I'm pressing.
Okay, so press it in there.
Got it.
From there, we're going to turn on a pan, wash our hands.
Washing my
You're doing
hands.
a great job for a minute. Yeah, great job. Now, we're going to sit these into the pan. Turn your pan on, medium high,
Medium high.
at 80 degrees. Now, once that gets up to temperature, very carefully remove the cutter from your crab cake. And you've got two nice, perfectly rounded crab cakes.
Perfect. Gordon, so my circles are not perfectly circular here, and a little bit
Well,
misformed.
Shane,
Yeah.
first of all, don't blame the equipment. Take some responsibility. And I give you a perfect set of cookie cutters.
Yeah.
So if they're not perfectly done,
Yes.
there's no reason why. You press them down, you put a little bit of effort and energy into the crab cake, and you mold it.
Okay.
With me?
I'm with you.
Good. Now we can start cooking.
Okay.
Take a teaspoon of olive oil into the pan, roll the pan round, and then from there, get your spatula under the crab cake, lift it up nice and gently.
Okay.
Okay. Nice thing is, across these crab cakes, there'll be no visual peppers because you will fine dice them.
They're
usually
so
in a
finely
way-
diced, you wouldn't know there's
There you go. That's the
Yeah.
secret.
Great.
Into the pan. The
Okay.
first one goes in at 12 o'clock. And the idea now is to get some color on those crab cakes.
To put some what?
To get some color.
Color. Okay.
No color, no flavor.
Got it.
Second one in
Okay.
goes at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. It's in.
Okay, great. Now, from there, now we're going to move on to the dressing. Okay, this is where it gets really exciting. Add your mayonnaise, excuse me.
Mayonnaise.
Add your capers, 1 tablespoon of capers, 1 teaspoon of mustard into the mayonnaise. Take your chopped red onion.
I do not have chopped onions. I'm gonna have to chop it myself.
There we go. You can take some of mine. There you go.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Okay.
Now, gently give your crab cakes a little shake. From there, take a spoon and mix all that in. Take the other half of your lemon, squeeze the lemon juice in there, and then roughly chop the tarragon into the remoulade. Good.
The tarragon is what? What's the tarragon?
Tarragon, have a little
Oh,
taste.
no, I see it. I see it.
So like nice long strands.
Yeah.
Now, take your radish, okay? Open up the radish. We're going to season the salad with the lemon juice and a little touch of olive oil. Now we need to dress this salad very lightly, okay? Salt, pepper, with me?
I'm with you. I'm adding my pepper.
Great. And then we
Adding
take
my
the spatula
salt.
and we start to turn our crab cake.
Turn it?
Turn it.
Turn
Very
it
carefully.
over.
Put your hand on the top at 12 o'clock.
Okay.
Listen carefully. Spatula underneath.
Yeah.
And turn it.
Turn it over.
Beautiful. Turn it over.
Okay.
Good.
Looking good.
Ready for the most exciting part.
Okay, great.
And that's to dress the plate. Take your salad dressing, lightly toss the dressing, and then want to create the salad at the top of your plate. Get your salad into almost like a sort of like a rose at the top of your plate.
Sorry, I'm
A rose. A
Rose.
rose. Remember the last time you bought roses?
yeah.
There you go. So imagine this
Wait,
rose
wait, with the
at the
salad?
top of your, yeah, we're creating a garden at the top of the plate.
I got it.
A fresh, delicious garden.
Okay.
Get
Put
your
it on the board. Put
lemon.
the salad on the plate.
gently zest over the salad the fragrance of your lemon. Get your remoulade and spoon your remoulade at 6 o'clock and then run your spoon through it so it looks like a beautiful smear on the plate. Gently lift your crab cakes out, okay? And just place them on set like that. And then very carefully, we're going to finish it with a little drizzle.
Okay,
of
I'm
fresh
adding the
lemon
crab
juice.
cakes to the remoulade.
And then I'd like the plate absolutely spotless. And there we go. And that is how to perfect an amazing crab cake finished with a stunning remoulade and a fragrant salad like it's just been picked. Shane, are you with me?
I'm with you.
On
I'm
the
ready
count
to-
of 3, turn around and show me yours.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Holy fuck. Shane, did you drop it?
I didn't drop it. No, I did everything you told me to a T. That looks a lot, but I want to eat that.
Jesus. Shane,
Sorry. go
you
on.
are bad.
Okay. I'm not sure that's cooked through, so
So here we go, guys. When I said do not be ashamed of your salad, please do not be ashamed of your salad. We're not feeding the chickens. We're not feeding the rabbits. We're not feeding the guinea pigs. Get my point?
Yes, chef.
Any questions about your salad?
No.
All right. So, it's a good one as to what not to do and how to go about, creating a salad. Of course, that was a crab cake, but the concept is there. How to build a nice, presentable plate. Okay. Now let's take a look at your shopping list real quick. Okay. Running out of time here. Week 4. Shopping list. All right, here we go. Week 4 shopping list. Let me see if I can zoom in. Okay. Bacon, beef stock. Okay. Chicken legs split, you already have them, so you don't have to buy them unless you want some more. Chicken stock, you're gonna have to make some chicken stock, or you can buy chicken broth at the store. Okay. What else? Beef bones. Okay. Beef bones. We're not making any demi-glace no more. You already made it, so you don't need any more beef bones today. Okay. Chicken breast. Again, you have the whole bird. If you bought 2 chickens last week, you have enough for this week. It's only cooking leg and thigh meat for Coq au vin on Tuesday, leg and thigh meat for Southern Fried Chicken on Wednesday, and the breast on Thursday. Okay. You will need the New York strip steak, flat iron, or ribeye steak. That's what kind of steak you should be looking for Friday. Okay. Butter. You need butter, buttermilk, heavy cream, and eggs. Okay. Produce.
What was the other steak?
New York strip steak, flat iron steak, or ribeye steak. But be frugal on how much you spend on your steak. Don't blow your money in the steak, all right? You got butter, buttermilk, heavy cream, and eggs. Okay. Produce, spinach, onions, celery, carrots, potatoes, leeks. Don't need no leeks. Okay, we're not using leeks this week at all. You can scratch them off.
Okay. Okay.
Parsley. Don't need parsley. You can scratch it off. Zucchini, yellow squash, red pepper. If they're too expensive, buy green bell pepper. Okay. Eggplant. Don't need eggplant unless you want to go ahead and to put a batter in that eggplant, or you can use it for your roasted veggies. Okay. Garlic, dry thyme, red skin potatoes for your roasted potatoes on Thursday. Lemons, shallots, romaine for your salad. Now for your salad, you can use romaine, you can use mixed greens, you can use butter lettuce. Doesn't have to be romaine. Okay, you are the creator of your own salad, as long as you present it nice and beautiful with different cuts. Okay. Tomatoes. Okay. For your salad, you can either cherry tomatoes, heirloom tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, any kind of tomatoes for your salad. Okay.
Chef, what is potatoes new?
Red skin potatoes. The red skin.
Thank you.
Cucumber. If you're not gonna slice it and make it into a bouquet, then a regular cucumber will be a hothouse cucumber. If you're gonna try to experiment and make it a bouquet, English cucumber will work fine. Radishes for your salad. Okay. What else for your salad? Radishes, cucumber, tomatoes, lettuce. Maybe you can use some of those bell peppers too from the top list for your salad. Okay. Think about the salad components. Dry ingredients. AP flour. Okay, for your Southern Fried Chicken. Olive oil for your, you don't need olive oil at all. You can skip that olive oil. Okay. Sparkling water, Topo Chico, Perrier, Calistoga, Club Soda. It's for your tempura vegetables on Thursday. Sugar, don't really need sugar. Okay. Garlic powder, onion powder, oregano, basil. Don't really need basil either. You can scratch that one off. Okay.
Okay.
Red wine vinegar, bay leaves, Dijon mustard for your vinaigrette, soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce, apricot preserves. If you can find preserves, apricot jam will work fine. White wine vinegar, red pepper flakes, tarragon. If you cannot find fresh tarragon in the store, dried tarragon will work as well too, okay? That is your shopping list. Okay, let's take a look at the recipes real quick. So we're looking at week 4. What's week 4? Okay, week 4, day 17. Cook them in. You're gonna need mushrooms, pearl onions. Okay, pearl onions were not on the shopping list. If you can find them, awesome. If not, don't worry about it, but they're supposed to be. You got bacon, which is on the shopping list. You got chicken quarters on the shopping list, flowers on the shopping list, salt, pepper you should have already. Red wine, remember the shopping list does not have any red wine, right? Whatever cheap red wine you can find, Francis Chablis, or forget the name brand, but any kind of cheap red wine to cook your coq au vin. Brown stock, you can use a little bit of the one you have, or you can use just chicken stock for your coq au vin. Bouquet garni, you can use it. I'm not going to use my bouquet garni. Mushrooms, onions, okay? So that's for your coq au vin, okay?
What did you say you want us to do the night before for this one?
Marinate the chicken in red wine, celery, onions, and carrots. So tonight, the chicken has to be marinated. Let's take a look at the carrots. Simple ingredients. Carrots, sparkling water, salt. Oh, that's a sugar. A little bit of sugar, butter, and parsley. You don't have to use parsley. If you can't find it, leave it out. I'm not gonna, carrot fish is supposed to have fresh dill. If you can't find parsley, if you find dill, use dill instead. That's appropriate garnish for carrot vichy, okay? And then the brine for your next day, for your southern fried chicken, you need water, ice, salt, sachet peas, thyme, peppercorns, bay leaf, and parsley, and mirepoix. That is your brine. Mix it all together. You're gonna brine your chicken for the next day for the southern fried chicken, okay? Simple recipe. Let's take a look at Wednesday. Okay. Here we go. Week 4. 18, day 18, okay? Wednesday, pan fried chicken. Again, chicken you already have, okay? Buttermilk. You need buttermilk. I saw it on the shopping list. Oil, canola, epi flour on the shopping list, garlic powder shopping list, onion powder shopping list, oregano shopping list, basil shopping list. You don't have to use oregano or basil. You can season your chicken however you want to, okay? Eggs, you have on shopping list. The gravy, you need chicken stock, onions, and epi flour. All those on the shopping list, okay? Let's take a look at the pan gravy. Again, flour, butter, chicken stock. It's velouté, okay? That's all you need. You don't need all the other ingredients. You're making velouté, okay? So don't worry about the rest of the ingredients in this recipe, okay? It says here, garlic powder, onion powder, dried oregano, dried basil, eggs beaten. Don't need all that, okay? Oh, that's for your flour to dredge your chicken. I mean, the gravy is flour, onions, and chicken stock, okay? Again, if you're gonna bread it, traditional breading, seasoned flour, egg wash, and breadcrumbs. But if you're gonna go buttermilk, flour, and buttermilk, that's all you need. Nothing else, okay? Whatever spice you want to add to your chicken. I'm using Mrs. Dash on mine. You can use whatever to season your chicken, okay? Let's take a look at your mashed potatoes. Potatoes, heavy cream, and butter. 3 simple ingredients, okay? It says milk. I like to use heavy cream on mine, okay? Don't worry about the nutmeg. I'm not gonna use nutmeg on mine. Potatoes, heavy cream, and butter. Salt, that's it. Grilled veggies, whatever vegetables you can find, you're gonna roast them, okay? It says here, the recipe, zucchini, yellow squash, onions, bell peppers, mushrooms, eggplants. I don't like eggplants, so I'm gonna leave them out. That is up to you, whatever veggies you want to have for your roasted veggies, okay? Let's take a look at Thursday recipe. Make sure that coincides with the shopping list. Week 4. Day 19, Thursday, okay? Roasted potatoes, you need potatoes, oil, and seasoning, that's it. Reskin potatoes, okay? I'm not gonna go with that ingredients. Those are real simple to get, okay? Thursday, chicken, the breast, not the leg and thigh. A little bit of Dijon mustard, which I saw on the shopping list. Soy sauce was there. Bourbon. You want to use whiskey, go for it. If you're not over 21 yet, ask your roommates, maybe your parents, if they have whiskey, they can get you a little bit. You only need 2 ounces. That's all you need, okay? Worcestershire sauce, apricot preserves. Again, if you cannot find apricot, use apricot jam, white wine vinegar, crushed red pepper flakes, and salt and pepper. That is for your marinating, for your chicken. Okay, that's it. Okay. So again, the only thing that is not on the shopping list is bourbon. Whiskey will do fine too. Okay. Let's take a look at Friday. Friday is relatively simple too. You need steak, eggs, butter, lemon juice, salt. What else? Tarragon, okay. Steak, salt, of course. I wouldn't worry about the white wine vinegar. Leave those out. You need red wine, shallots, tarragon, eggs, butter, lemon juice. Okay. You can scratch cayenne pepper. You can scratch white wine vinegar, scratch white wine, and scratch peppercorns. I'm going to show you how to make a simple hollandaise egg yolks, lemon juice, salt, water, and butter. That's it. Béarnaise, tarragon, red wine, and shallots. That's it. Okay. And the potatoes, you saw the video, potatoes and butter, a little bit of salt. Okay. So a couple of things your shopping list did not have. Okay. Bourbon. What else did we say it didn't have? And a couple of things you got to scratch off the list that you don't really need. Okay. So your shopping list is a little bit off, not too much, but it has a lot more. The recipes have a lot more ingredients that you don't really need. Like I said, you're not going to use white wine or white wine vinegar or peppercorn orange to make a hollandaise. I'm going to show you an easy way to make it, but you will need a stainless steel bowl so you can save some cash money. C-notes, dead presidents, greenbacks. Instead of buying those ingredients, get yourself a nice little medium-sized stainless steel bowl. You can fit about a gallon of water. And if you don't have a whisk, it's a time to get a whisk for the holidays. Okay. Any questions about Monday? I mean, about this week coming up? Okay. Just remember, plating techniques, very important. Okay. From the Southern fried chicken to the coq au vin to the steak and the salad. I can't emphasize enough about the salad, guys. Okay. I know salad, people have a challenge. It's like, why am I even messing with a salad? But in the restaurant business, a salad costs you pennies, maybe $1.50 tops. Sell it for $12. Now you're gonna get a lot of profit, more revenue, because it's not costing you a lot of money. Okay, it all depends how you present the salad on the plate. And emphasize your knife cuts. We went through week 2 of knife cuts. You should know what kind of knife cuts you're going to the salad. Give you a couple of examples. You saw the video. Go do some more research. Pick out a salad that you like. Pick out the ingredients that you like. It doesn't have to be veggies. Like Miss Chelsea was asking, can she do a fruit? You can do a fruit salad, but not just, if you're going to do a fruit salad, don't just cut fruit and put it in a bowl and call that a fruit salad. That's a fruit cocktail. That's not going to go. That's not going to fly, okay? We wanted to make a fruit salad, some strawberries, some raspberries, some blackberries, some blueberries, some mixed greens, something that will tie in and work with that. Maybe make a raspberry vinaigrette. I don't know. Okay, your choice, okay? But make sure that salad stands out, okay? We'll upload this slide on the portal. You guys can go back and take a look at it. Hopefully by tonight or tomorrow morning. If you guys have any questions or thoughts about it, it will be on the portal for you guys to take a look at later on. Okay. Any questions so far?